Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Good news for the Patriots, who not only won their first game of the season, but may get their best defensive player back on the field. Mike Vrabel said yesterday there's a chance Christian Gonzalez could return this week. He hasn't practiced since late July with a hamstring problem. Also, Vrabel added that after missing last weekend's win because of a health issue, defensive coordinator Terrell Williams will be around and involved this week. The next game for the Patriots is at home on Sunday against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were a pair of Monday night games yesterday evening. The Chargers won in Las Vegas 20-9, and Tampa Bay got a touchdown with 6 seconds left to win in Houston 20-19. There's more quarterback injury news this morning. Minnesota's J.J. McCarthy has a high ankle sprain. He will reportedly miss at least this coming weekend. Also, Washington's Jaden Daniels apparently has a sprained knee. His status very much up in the air for the Commanders this weekend against the Raiders. Red Sox had last night off. They opened a 3-game series against the Athletics tonight at Fenway Park. Yankees lost last night, so the Sox are currently the second wild card in the American League. 1 game behind the Yankees for first, but now only a half a game ahead of Houston for second. And the New England Revolution yesterday fired manager Caleb Porter. Assistant Pablo Moreira will take over on an interim basis. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by LNF Electrical Services. Tired of dealing with that loose electrical outlet or faulty light switch? Call LNF Electrical Services and have an electrician at your home the next day at a price that can't be beat, guaranteed. Call 844-LF-WIRES or lfelectricalservice.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Irish shot.
The Bruins.
Rebound score!
Play here, the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for Maria? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
A local kid. It's like a gem.
Yeah, there's got to be a local tie. You got to spin your tail off where you are. The mean streets are where you know what's going on. The scene, Andover, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's a guy. He's in a kitchen. It's getting very old. The appliances. And he's
Let's make cocaine legal.
And he's thinking, yeah, legalize it. I get involved. Get in the startup. You're in your kitchen. Everything's getting old. Our hero goes to his 401k and starts taking out money and says,
I need some buy money. I don't have any laying around.
I need some seed money for this venture in the kitchen.
Using narcotics.
Look at live fast, die young. I ain't going to be 65, baby.
How are we doing?
This 401k money's leaving this bank account one way or the other. You don't live a life of a Hemingway-esque writer without breaking some eggs
And blowing some rails.
Yeah, I'm like the bard.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and get all that going. My ex-wife has been out of town, and I've been for like the last 5 days, but it was something she had to handle, and I would have been a dick not to help. So I've had to split my time between my old house, which is not very far from my place, and I had to go over there this morning. It's not. She's coming back this morning. Now the plan is for her to come back this morning, to fly back. but it is not a very. I can't take her dog into my house because I've told you my old dog, freaks out in my house.
Smells. The smells.
That's my assumption is that the familiar smells, but being in another place, like she can be there like kind of during the day. She doesn't like it that much, but like at night, she like does not like it. She like freaks out. So like yesterday, I went over there after the show, and like slept there. I took my nap there. I was very tired from my wild night on Sunday at that concert. The woman's name I still don't know, but I have a diary.
Cobby Boo Boo.
That's right. I have a diary.
Caliuchis.
I have a diary that from Silver VIP we got when we came in. We both received diaries, but there was 2 of them.
Have you been journaling?
Yes, I've been writing down my dreams. I've been drawing my dreams, and they're very psychedelic. I've been drawing my dreams, too. It's called The Arm in the Fall. That came to me in a slumber.
Now Rocky had a cut-off leg to deal with.
Yeah, whoops, guts are crawling all over the beach. Rocky just wanted a vacation, but instead she just got a bunch of organs and stuff.
Now, Gary, as your editor, I just have a couple of questions about some of your phrasing here. The guts are crawling. Do you think that's the best way of describing that scene?
All right, here's I'll explain to you 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. 3 severed body limbs.
Sure.
2 boobs. Okay. 1 idea. And that's the middle finger. Yeah. And that's get out of my way.
We're just trying.
Gary doesn't get edited.
We're trying to not.
I'm creating a language. It's all stream of consciousness. Gary don't edit or use punctuation.
Oh, like a Cormac McCarthy.
That's your job.
It's Kerouac, baby. It's on the road. It's a few white crosses and some time. And I'll come out with something nice. Usually the only things floated when Rocky Suarez got in the water were 2 cans. Their boobs, they were huge, and they floated. But in this day, it was different because there were limbs and guts.
Jesus.
And just in time for Rocky to have gotten the police gig patrolling the waters, she was a boat detective. And since all these guts were in the water, she figured, this is my jurisdiction. And I mean diction.
Okay, I want this character to have a logical arc. I thought she was a homicide detective working in the city.
Yeah, she was going to retire, though. And so she thought the easiest thing would be to patrol the sea.
Okay. And maybe just research that a little bit, see if that's something that often happens.
Yeah. Plastic and dolphins, right. That's what Rocky had to deal with. There was a lot of plastic, environmental concern, topical, plus blood and guts, right?
Sure.
And 2 huge boobs. And there you go. Rocky was trying to do it in the water with her, one of the suspects, really, to get him to confess. But he was so huge, it was too hard.
Oh.
So I'm getting, some for the ladies, too.
Do you think it's appropriate for our heroine to be having sex with murder suspects?
Look, it doesn't. Do you want to know how to make the sausage, or do you want to have a nice breakfast?
I want this book to be huge, and I want them to be able to make it into
it will
a movie.
Be plenty huge.
Okay.
The only thing that is going to stop the movie is casting. It's almost impossible. You're going to have to find some real freaks.
I know that you've requested to be
male full frontal, and I need and none of this pussy Boogie Nights garbage with the prosthetics. I want a guy with a real hog on him. You know? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's a play in my head. This is all Gary Tangway, by the way, who really did write a book called The Arm in the Fall about a NFL quarterback who, the week before the Super Bowl, loses an arm. And Rocky Suarez was the attractive Latino femme fatale. That was the...
but she was a cop. A cop's cop.
Yeah. She was a hot, hard-scrabbled cop who was in charge of the investigation. at the Super Bowl. And then Gary explained what he was thinking. He was like, it was the Super Bowl, and I thought, what if someone died? What if the quarterback died? And then you take it from there.
What if we gave him a nickname? The Arm.
The Arm.
Wasn't that his nickname in the book?
That's right.
So I know the Arm and the Fall. What is that play on?
Hold on a second. Oh, I didn't even think that it was like a turn of a phrase.
Wouldn't it have to be the Arm and the Fall? Like, isn't that like supposed to be? That's got to be a play on something, correct?
We couldn't call it a farewell to arms because that was already taken.
The fall of something. The fall of.
So is Jugs. Flint Enterprises or Flint Publishing is very copyright crazy. Because I wanted to call it Jugs. Then I wanted to call it Guns, but that had already been taken by a movie by that guy who did Malibu Express. So, you improvise. It seems like the Arm and the Fall would be a play on something.
It does. I just don't know what it would be. Yes, if it is about the star quarterback of the St. Louis Rivermen, Danny the Arm Wilcox. And then
get it?
Washed-up TV sportscaster Jerry Cushing finds himself covering the biggest story of his career while dodging bullets and falling in love.
With Rocky Suarez.
That's with Rocky. Detective Rocky Suarez, yes.
Yeah. He woke, in all seriousness, he wakes up and he's drunk with a hooker. The washed-up television personality. Cush. Yeah. What do you want? And then he answers the phone in the book, and this is real. He answers the phone in the book, and the guy's like, hey, the quarterback of, like, the big quarterback in the NFL died. And he's like, yeah. And he hangs up. He's like, yeah, I'm with whores. I'm with whores. Leave me alone.
I'm trying to...
Let me have sex with whores. Please.
This book was actually reviewed by Kirkus. It's fantastic.
What's Kirkus?
Kirkus is like the great book review website.
Clearinghouse, yeah.
Clearinghouse. Detective Rocky Suarez, who takes guff from no one and brandishes a sawed-off double-barrel semi-automatic. A diverting romance propels this book's sporadically violent thriller.
Yeah, it's sporadic. It comes in spurts. Nothing.
Ropes.
Action. Nothing. Action. Cliffhanger with next page.
No payoff.
Yeah, a lot of loose ends in the Arm and the Fall.
Make it the lost of these books.
Yeah, I introduce a bunch of paranormal garbage for the nerds. And some Star Trek crap in there too. Darth Vader's in it, and Han Solo and those things. Captain Kirk, the whole nine. I just threw a bunch of crap in there for the geeks. Rocky Suarez was playing video games or whatever the hell you guys do. She was on 4chan. Yeah, but, mixing it up with some other housebound lunatics. Okay. La.
The Arm in the Darkness, does that ring a bell with you?
No, it just seems like The Arm in the Fall would be a play on something that I'm not well-versed enough in literature to come up with. Like it does. You mentioned Hemingway before. It almost seems like a Hemingway title, which I might know.
Sea.
Yeah. Old Man Has to Pee. Fun book. It's a kid's book. You put him to sleep. Could you please go to sleep? Old Man Has to Pee. Write it down.
We have to follow up with Gary because he was writing the follow-up.
Oh, that's right.
To The Arm in the Fall.
That's right.
Yeah, next time he does, it's fall, so maybe it won't happen as much. But when he does WSB, WSB's the Atlanta.
Yeah.
WBZ AM, he does the night shift sometimes, and it's great because I love Gary. I really do like Gary a lot. And Gary does the show, and it's so funny because he's the people that call into these shows are all maniacs, the political maniacs, and Gary just doesn't care. I love it because he doesn't really have any impassioned, which to his credit, he doesn't have any impassioned statement that he's trying to make, and then people like call in to trip him up, and he's just like, sure, yeah, and that's the best way to handle
The
it.
best is he doesn't come on and take a violent political point of view. It isn't leaning left or right one way or another, and then he gets these phone callers that are wild zealots, and he gets angry at them.
Well,
it's fantastic.
Or just they get angry at him, and he's sort of like indifferent to them, which is I find to be actually very refreshing. Because people, their job in life is to call in, which makes them no worse, the callers, than people on the internet. But they're which drives people insane. But this is, I mean, it does. It drives people insane. You spend all day communicating with a lot of vitriol on the internet. It's going to not be good for you.
It's the same people who think it's their job to comment under every story in the Globe and Herald, and then later on that night they call in.
Or it gets into be like a whole scene like on Reddit or like in places that I don't even know about. And then it's like its own language. It's all weird.
Look, I don't know politics like Dan Ray. I'm not going to pretend to.
Yeah, but the last thing I'd want to be in is any kind of political television or radio, because now I don't even understand what's going on. Like the Charlie Kirk guy who's accused of killing him, there's he's talking in meme of this meme, and then I saw the cartoon of the meme, and I don't know what the hell is going on. It's not even political. It's just some weird and so it seems like these online groups have metastasized or whatever the term is, and it's just they've almost created their own language and their
splintered?
own.
Is that
no? It's just been a petri dish of people that have been in it for so long and spend so much time in it that they create their own language and culture,
and they get upset when you don't understand. Or
no, I just think that it's if you spend all day. You create your own languages and stuff without any real tactile environmental experience or face-to-face experience with people, that it's descent into madness. I told you one of my really good friends killed himself when I was in college, and right the 6-month span before he killed himself was all. He was babbling about all kinds of conspiracy stuff out of nowhere. He was fell down that rabbit hole of conspiracy stuff. I'm very, because of that, I'm very cautious about when people start going crazy with it. That's why I always say, have one. You can have one, one thing that because who knows about the way the earth was, there's a bunch of crap there's probably stuff that's not on the level, but pick a thing, like the Kennedy assassination, or pick, the moon landing. Pick one thing.
No, but instead,
Mark Maron talks about it. It happened to him. He went nuts with the conspiracy stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he started going crazy, and then he had to pull back. He got suicidal. I'm telling you, it's it's like a descent into madness, because then you go from having a healthy mistrust of things to believing that the world is this it becomes paranoia that the world is out to get you as an individual,
right?
Which can spread like wildfire unless you have actual people around you that you're close to. When you isolate and you're just living in this meta universe of you are a lone entity and everything is conspiring against you, that's when things go nuts.
I think it's a way for some people to kind of cope with some misfortune and have an excuse to why things don't work out for them. It's well, everything's set up against you. Everything is a lie. Mm-hmm. And part of that lie, and part of the reason for lying, is to keep everybody down. Now, the fact that other people are not even succeeding, but not having the same troubles that you are, doesn't enter into it. The fact that I am somehow not, achieving every hope, dream, ambition, goal that I've set out for myself. Financially, I'm not where I want to be. It's because the whole system is rigged. Oh, why is it rigged? Just because of this, and this. Now, whether they outwardly say that or not, I don't know, but I think in their mind, it's like a coping mechanism. Well, No reason for me to try and, fix things either at work or in my life. Everything's set up against me anyway. The whole thing's a lie.
That makes sense. Yeah. My friend who killed himself didn't really have anything. I think it was just like a late mental illness. Like it was just like laying in wait. Because some people say because his girlfriend broke up with him, but but you don't kill yourself because your girlfriend breaks up with you.
This is a guy you went to college with?
I went to high school. I grew up with him, and then we went to college together. Like we went to Rollins together. He had transferred out. He transferred to go to Michigan State, and then bought a gun, and then sat with the gun for a couple days. Waited for the gun, and then when he got the gun, he killed himself.
That's terrible.
And another one of my friends walked in and found him.
Oh God!
But I'm not looking for sympathy about the thing. I'm just telling you that. But I'm just telling you that, like, he transferred, like he killed himself pretty much like right after he transferred. So I was around him like that 4 months, and he had completely like isolated. He had this off-campus house. He had completely isolated into it, and he was like still funny, but he was at the end he was like babbling all this like crazy crap about like fluoride and in the water, and I don't even really remember. I probably blocked it out, but it was him and another guy, and I don't know what happened to the other guy because he left school, but unrelated to the suicide. So I don't know what happened to that guy. He was a big Grateful Dead fan, the other guy, and I just remember that he had a lot of Grateful Dead bootlegs. He loved it. He had gone to boarding school, which gave me a distrust of boarding schools.
Go figure. A boarding school kid, a Dead fan?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty weird. All right. Anyway.
Don't blame yourself just because you weren't smart enough to get into Michigan State and go with them. Don't.
I was waitlisted at Michigan State, and I never pursued my acceptance, I'll have you know.
You may have been taken off the wait list for all we know, but you didn't follow up.
There was things I would have had to have gone back and said I would have had to inquire. There was an inquiry that would have had to happen, but I was not interested once I had decided to pivot. I was never going to go to Michigan State, but I did apply. Mm-hmm. I got into Western straight off the top.
It's a good school.
Well, it's the last one that you can really go to there. It's Michigan State in order. Michigan, which is impossible. Michigan State, which you should. And then Western, which is a good enough school. Then Central, Eastern, all that stuff is garbage. That's when you really get into it. I mean, you know it's true as well as I do. Yeah, and then Ferris State, if you were completely a lunatic.
I'll be back on the campus of Eastern Michigan University here in a few weeks for the second time ever. The first time was for the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Foundation back when I was 16 years old. Kobe, Hugh O'Brien, he played Wyatt Earp in the TV series.
Of course.
Like he had a like this youth foundation. Oh. And you would just go there. I didn't know it at the time. They were trying to groom us all to be young Republicans. But that was my first visit to Eastern. Oh, no. I was there a second time with Franz Harari. I was assisting. He was an Eastern Michigan alum. And tell me that guy hasn't succeeded in life. He's probably in Asia right now doing his magic shows.
No, I didn't know who he was.
I had no idea who he was talking about.
I just told you about him like a week ago. Franz Harari, master illusionist for LL Cool J, Michael Jackson, all those people.
Yes, you did, but I did not remember the name. But yeah,
let's get him on the show.
Have fun in Ypsilanti. That's a great town.
We're playing golf. We got a big tournament for the baseball team. There's a game.
Watch out for bullets. Because you get that Eastern Michigan education, and then on top of that, you get to live in a slum where there's a constant shooting. Very good.
You're a bad person.
I have no talk to the government of Ypsilanti. Don't talk to me. I'm not doing anything out there.
The things you're saying right now are not helping them. If they are in fact struggling, you're not part of the solution.
They get plenty
of
state money. That's a state institution, Eastern Michigan. They get tax-free, the whole nine, baby. They get federal or state money, rather. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll catch you up with everything that happened. NFL action last night, that inexplicable two-game thing that they do for no reason. We'll be back in just a moment.
you know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now,
Me.
more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy, on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
All right, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happens, so change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going down?
I will answer the question for you. What happened last night? There were 2 NFL games last night. Monday Night Football doubleheader. And what happened in the first game happened in Las Vegas as the Raiders were playing host to the San Diego Superchargers of Los Angeles. And what happened was a lot of this.
Gino takes the snap. Play action, and nearly it is intercepted. Deion Henley with it. First play of the game is a Chargers interception. It ricocheted off of Louis Gilman into the hands of Deion Henley. And what a way to start this game.
That's weird. It sounds like he's in his living room with the TV on.
I don't think he's at that game.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, is that that's the Chargers broadcast,
That's
right?
the Chargers calling.
Yeah, they're not out. They wouldn't even send him to Vegas.
You could drive there.
Oh, you could drive there quite. I watched Swingers. You could drive there pretty quickly.
It's like 4 hours.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Well, I'm aware. Yes, absolutely. But yes, apparently lots of deflected balls last night.
Yeah, and this was my thought going in. Raiders feeling themselves a little bit. All right, here's the pitch. Raiders feeling themselves a little bit. They got
a masturbatory affair.
They got a big win against the Patriots. They go back to Vegas. Hookers. A lot of blow. They go on a 2-3 day bender, and they got to get themselves together, and like, now we got to get a win. But I did like the Raiders in that spot last night, at least to cover. And that was not going to happen because Justin Herbert was doing his part too.
Here comes the blitz. Herbert drops back, has time, climbs the pocket, using his legs, moving to his right, throwing to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Chargers! The captain, Keenan Allen, with his second in as many games.
Ashton Genty hasn't been that explosive. A bit of a disappointment. I thought that because, like, right away, like, every time, like, a running back is that decorated that gets taken that high, I assume they're going to be Barry Sanders at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Or, like, LaDainian Tomlinson, like, something where they are, like, game breakers kind of right away, but he hasn't gotten loose, like, once. Like, not even...
Less than 100 yards combined the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and, like, 13-yard was his longest run yesterday. Like, he hasn't, like, gotten loose.
Did Bijan Robinson have trouble his rookie year? I mean, he was awesome last season, but I don't know. He was.
I don't think he got
also.
bottled up like this. Yeah. I can look. Oh, let me look. Just give me some time. Let me look.
Okay. You look at that. We'll listen to
Okay, guys, don't worry. I got it.
Okay.
Already?
No, I'm on the team. I'm going to the depth chart. I can get it while we're talking. I can pull it up. I have Bijan Robinson's stats up. I can get to his can see all. Let's do it.
Chargers would score at the end of the first quarter. They would score before in the 2 minutes leading up to the half, and they would take the lead into the locker room and never surrender.
214 carries, 976 yards, 4.6 average, 4 touchdowns, a long run of 38.
In his rookie year. And then last year
he had 304 carries for 1,456 yards. Same average, though, but he had 14 touchdowns. I don't know how much that is the Atlanta offense. I don't recall the Atlanta offense for 2023 as they are a franchise not worth paying attention to.
Right.
That's fair.
Even when you live there.
So
they sell out games, but it's a whole scene. You know the scene on a Sunday in Atlanta.
A lot
of
double
game.
and triple-breasted suits.
Steve Harvey has sold some suits, my friend.
So, Pete Carroll, what do you have to say about Ashton Genty's slow start?
Less than 20 carries tonight for Ashton Genty. Any reason why I haven't been able to heavily feature him? And is that something you want to, get going?
We're just getting started. We're just getting started. He's breaking into the NFL. He's figuring it out. When he had 11 or something carries tonight, is that what he had? 11, yeah. He'll get more. That'll come. We're going to have to run the football better than we did, more effectively. We got to get more yards. We have 50 or 60 yards or something rushing. That's not enough. We got to get more than that.
Yeah, the Chargers are a real tough team to watch. They're in that terrible market with that terrible crowd. They're very staunch defensively. They play that bend but don't break defense that's super annoying to watch. They're very they have Herbert, who's good, not great. He's good.
He's good. In 2 weeks, he's second in the league in passer rating. He started very well.
He's second, yeah, John, but he okay. But they're not putting up a lot of points, to my knowledge.
No.
So it's not like he's lighting the league up. He's efficient.
Yes.
They play an efficient brand of offense, an efficient brand of defense, and they play in a sterile environment. It's unlike the Jets, who play in front of home crowds at home, or they away crowds at home. That was the case against Pittsburgh and Buffalo, where they were outnumbered 17-1.
Chargers are, I would guess, the third or fourth most popular NFL team in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah, the Raiders are ahead of them. And in Los Angeles, the Raiders are ahead of them.
And I think the 49ers.
Well, the Rams are more popular than the Chargers in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's I would guess it's Rams, Raiders, and then either 49ers or Chargers in terms of the fan base in LA.
But LA also is a area where if you are from somewhere, you root for the team way too hard from where you're from. You're aware of this phenomenon. And in transient cities where people have moved, there is, especially Los Angeles, there is this clinging to where people are from, where they go far too insane about the local team. Atlanta was the same kind of city at a smaller scale. You had everyone from the Southeast move to Atlanta. And then I've told this many times, but an example would be you go to a June Braves-Cubs game, and it would be a swarm of Cub fans like flipping out about the Cubs, and you'd be like, all right, it's a game in June. Everyone relax. You're fine. There's no need to go nuts. It's very annoying. Some of us are here to meet women. Stop this. Cheering and yelling.
So in this storied matchup between Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh, they had faced each other in college. They had faced each other with other NFL teams.
Mm-hmm.
So now Justin Herbert was enough, essentially. The difference, Chargers slightly better football team, but the quarterback played last night.
The Chargers are way better.
Yeah, but I don't think they're
the Chargers are a way better team than Vegas.
They're an above average team. I thought the Raiders had a chance to be at least average.
Yeah, and so far they've been average. They lost by 11 points and they won by 10. Would you call, just from the outset going into this game, did you think the Chargers were much better? You just think they were better? I thought the Chargers were much better.
Well,
the Chargers made the playoffs last year. Vegas sucked. I mean, there's a reason Pete Carroll's their coach. They were in disarray. They don't have a lot of good players. They're pretty stagnant. I mean, Geno Smith's a good quarterback, but he's not. I mean, he's a placeholder while they figure things out.
Their best wide receiver is in a red zone threat. Jacoby Myers is great,
and he's not a game breaker.
Yeah, he wants out. So.
What do you want? I was kind of believing in the Pete Carroll, Geno Smith thing. They've made me believe it was going to be something to watch. And instead, Geno Smith threw 3 picks last night, Pete.
Yeah, well, he took a couple shots. He threw a couple bombs down there, and one of them was on about the 2, and the other one was in the end zone. I think, if that's right.
Okay.
All right, Pete. By the way, you'll hear a lot today about Tom Brady being in the Vegas box with a headset on. And he gets to walk into every team's facility and as a member of the Fox broadcast team, where he's making so much money. It's just insane that you have the NFL. You have it. You've paid for the NFL. You've already have it. You have the product. And then you double down and give like hundreds of millions. And I know a lot of it is corporate gigs and having him as a part of the network and, getting them out there and meeting sponsors and stuff. But it just seems like so redundant. You've paid the main thing. Like, football's football. Tom Brady's not moving the needle about how many people are watching that game.
It's 10 years, $375 million.
Right. And it can't just be to do those games.
No,
obviously, there's got to be a lot more to it. He's got a bunch of promotional things that he probably has to do. And I sort of understand it from that aspect. But Jesus Christ, I mean, paying that kind of money for something that people are going to watch or they're not going to watch it. Like, the NFL is what it is. You'd have to have someone on there offending half the nation
to get more people to watch than are already watching?
Yeah. Like, you'd have to have, like, a real firecracker that, like, hit at the right time. Like, I think everyone's trying to duplicate the original Monday Night Football where they were taking a huge chance putting the NFL into prime time, and then they got that, Cosell became that, I guess he already was, but he became even a bigger, like a seismic star. You tuned in to hear him. And Meredith and what's his name, cheater, and the guy who cheated on Mary Lou Gifford. I guess those guys were they played against him.
Yeah, Don Meredith.
But I don't think those guys were making $40 million, $50 million a year, whatever the hell it adds up to be.
How could anyone cheat on Kathy Lee? She was America's sweetheart.
She seemed to be a lot, very Christian. And did you see the girl that Frank Gifford cheated on her with? Huge cans.
No.
Met her on an airplane.
Huh.
Yeah. Nothing but trouble when you meet on an airplane.
By the way, Geno Smith, 0 for 12 on passes downfield of 10 yards or more, and all 3 picks came out, obviously, on those passes.
Against the Patriots defense, didn't you have like 9 plays of 20 yards or more?
Yeah. Apparently, the Chargers play a brand of defense where they won't let you beat them deep, and Geno Smith got baited into doing it. He didn't have the patience, which it goes back to my point that the Chargers are, by design, a very boring team. They kind of holster Herbert, and the team plays that brand of bend but don't break defense, which can be a lot to watch. And I don't think they win a Super Bowl. They will make the playoffs, and they'll probably be a wild. But Jesus, they could win the division. They got a 2-game lead already.
Yeah, Kansas City has not started well.
Kansas City's had quite the gauntlet to start the season, but they, and the Chargers haven't. It's not nearly what the Kansas City's had to play, but. Even if they win that division, it's just like, I don't know. I wish they didn't move the teams to Los Angeles. That's all. It's just boring watching it on television. It's even boring doing that. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. There was another NFL game last night. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are home to play Pittsburgh this Sunday, and they may have Christian Gonzalez on the field in some capacity. Mike Vrabel told the media yesterday Gonzalez could return this week. Defensive coordinator Terrell Williams, according to Vrabel, will be around and involved this week as well. The players will practice tomorrow. LA Chargers are 2-0. They beat Las Vegas last night 20-9. Tampa Bay is 2-0. They beat Houston 20-19. Red Sox had last night off. They open up a 3-game series against the Athletics tonight. And the New England Revolution yesterday fired manager Caleb Porter. Assistant Pablo Moreira will take over on an interim basis. The Revs are 10 points out of a playoff spot with 4 matches left. They visit the Philadelphia Union on Saturday night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Gabriel Iglesias at TD Garden. Stand-up comedy legend Gabriel Iglesias is coming to TD Garden Saturday, September 27th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Dutcher and Hardy. Hardy, there was another football game besides the Vegas Charger affair.
The only thing I like about the doubleheader Monday Night Football is the fact that we get one early game. So I love the fact that we had an early one last night, even if it was Houston, Tampa Bay. Not bad. Get a chance to see C.J. Stroud, who went out there and looked decent early.
C.J. in the gun. First down, Stroud to throw. Guns it long downfield, right side, and Nico with the catch right side of the end zone, and touchdown! Rock and roll! 29-yard touchdown pass.
Hey, I like this
Stroud
guy.
to Collins.
This guy's cool. Yeah, rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. Eddie Trunk salutes you.
Okay.
Yeah, bring back rock and roll.
Yeah!
Bad Company, Fog Hat. Yeah, rock and roll. It's never going to die. Rock and roll will never die. I like that guy. He's like me, rocker. Kind of anti-stabs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's calling the NFL, but in his mind, he's by the jukebox.
Keep playing that rock and roll.
I believe C.J. Stroud completed 5 of his first 7 pass attempts, but would end up 13 of 24 on the night. So
now he hasn't been so good the last couple of years. Their offensive line's not so good.
No.
And they got rid of their left tackle. They got rid of Jeremy Tunsil. I don't really understand what's going on over there. They have an elite defense, Houston.
Yeah.
But they have a terrible offensive line. You would think that the one thing you'd want to do is just pepper that offensive line. But they traded Jeremy Tunsil. They did not want him anymore. And they got rid of him, and now he's just under constant barrage.
Speaking of a guy teams didn't want, Baker Mayfield, your quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bucky Irving the setback, left side hip. Good snap, gets the pass away, caught ball by Emeka Ibuka. Inside the 10, the 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown Tampa Bay! Touchdown Tampa Bay! Ibuka does it again. 3 touchdowns in a game and a quarter.
Do you think he's purposely saying Emeka Ibuka quickly? Because he's not comfortable with it?
No, absolutely.
Or he's trying to be cute.
No. I think he's saying it really, really fast.
Well, you do it for a living, baby, so no one can accuse you of not knowing what you're talking about.
Buccaneers go up 14-10. Houston would retake the lead in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 9 at the Bucs 25. Stroud under center. Handoff Chubb again up the middle. 20. Angling right. 15. 10. 5. Touchdown. Houston. Chubb to the house. And the Texans lead Tampa Bay.
Getting all excited, but forgetting what happened last week in the Bucs opener when Mayfield threw a touchdown pass with 59 seconds left to get the win over the Falcons. Now, Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers with the ball and go on an 11-play, 80-yard drive.
Mayfield sends him back in motion. Hands the ball off for Sean White. Into the end zone. Is he in? Is he in? Touchdown Tampa Bay! Touchdown Tampa Bay! Buccaneers take the lead at 20-19.
With 6 seconds left, and that was your ball game.
Houston had him. They had him 4th down and 10 inside their own 40, and Baker Mayfield scrambled for 12 yards to keep the drive going. And give him credit. It was a very nice final drive. Houston blew a 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. They had 2 shots from the 1. 4th down inside the 5. They passed twice. And to Nico Collins, incomplete. The game was there for Houston to win, but Tampa Bay undefeated. And who do they play next, Fred?
They play the New York Jets.
Yes.
At home. I'll tell you this, is that Tom Brady is playing in the Fanatics flag football situation.
Oh, that was the big announcement.
It's in Saudi Arabia. He was with Turkey Al Shaikh. And Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, McCaffrey, Sauce Gardner, Myles Garrett, Brock Bowers, Max Crosby, Tyreek Hill, who they're bringing into their country, Odell Beckham Jr., and Rob Gronkowski are all playing. And to this, I'd say they're paying Tom Brady $10 million to go play flag football in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
What does he need $10 million? He doesn't need it. Why would you do that?
Maybe he's warming up for the Olympics. He's going to represent the U.S. in the Olympics in flag football in Los Angeles.
I know that he's got that whole Fanatics thing happening, that he's like in the whole memorabilia business, but I just at a certain point you're just piling money on money. Like like now I got to go to Saudi Arabia and play flag football. Like I don't. Well, it's $10 million for it. It's $10 million. $10 million on top of $500 million. $500 million. What's 10%? What's 10%? Even let's go low. What's 6% of $500 million? Without touching $500 million, just standard market performance. What would you be living off of? I got to go 6% of 500.
10% of 500 is 50, right?
All right. So, so let's say it's like $30 million a year. So just off of the $500 million you have, it's $30 million a year in income, passive income, where you're just sitting on the money. What good is the $10 million going to do you? What are you going to buy?
That's a 33% raise on what you're expecting to make this year.
Yeah, but what are you going to buy? And then even if you weren't living in that fashion and you were just taking away from your income, he has an infinite amount of money. There becomes a point where I don't understand what the money is for anymore. Like, wouldn't you pay $10 million not to go to Saudi Arabia and play flag football?
I would, but Brady still wants it out there that he could play. He wants it, and who wouldn't?
Oh no, this is a financial situation.
But who wouldn't like people to think that once you hang it up from something, have the general consensus be that guy could still get out there and do it.
I don't think this is a TV product that anyone's going to watch. I think you're looking far too much into it. It's obviously it's in Saudi Arabia. We're aware of what happens there. They just give out. You're a golf fan. I mean, that whole Live Tour thing is a joke.
But Brady
they just give you so much money, you can't say no.
Brady isn't worried about people sitting down and watching a 2-hour flag football game. He's worried about how he's going to look in 10-second snippets on Instagram, and he's going to look great.
I don't think that has anything to. I don't think that has one iota of anything to do with his thinking of going there.
So it has nothing to do with his ego and image?
No, I think that it's completely money.
No, I think it's.
I don't think it makes him look good going to Saudi Arabia to play in some jokey flag football game. I think that he probably went no, and they went here, and he went no, and then they went here. Like, we'll give you $10 million.
Is this something that Fox is sponsoring in some way, shape, or
No,
form?
it's a fanatic. I don't know. What do I know? Yeah, I know. What you're saying is it part of his Fox deal?
Yeah.
But I can't think that that is.
But obviously he makes.
He's in bed with fanatics.
$40 million a year. He's a part owner of an NFL, 10% owner of an NFL.
Yeah,
franchise.
like it's just.
He's got money coming out his ears, and the $10 million on the surface would seem to be.
He must own a piece of Fanatics or something because he's like in that whole memorabilia business. Maybe it's Fanatics that's making him do it.
Yeah.
Because it just. If I'm anyone else in that, I understand taking the money to go out there. Like, you can't turn that payday down because you're not generational. Like, you're not like insanely rich. Like, if you're a football player, you're rich, but you're not that insanely like I can't lose it rich.
Well, you talk about having an infinite amount of wealth, and yes, to me, $500 million is infinite. But if he's looking at this as doing a favor to the Saudis, and having a group of people like that take you under their wing. Now that's infinite wealth. You're talking $600-700 billion.
But the thing about that is just I don't know why you'd bother yourself with it. Like, it just at a certain point, why would you bother? I don't understand the drive to become a billionaire. I just don't. I don't understand what it just seems like the worst. It seems like you reach a strata of income where it's just like, now it's a problem. Now everyone hates me. Now everyone's blaming me for everything. Unless you're like a total megalomaniac. Like, yeah. I don't understand the desire. Now, I understand wanting $500 million. You can do whatever you want. There's no, like, governor on anything that you do. You have a private plane. You can go wherever you want, wherever you want. You're getting laid all the time. All these things. Your kids and their kids and their kids and their kids are taken care of. It's like the billionaire thing that I don't understand. Like, that constant, like, once you have enough, I just would be like, okay, that's enough. I don't need to be playing flag football in Saudi Arabia. It sounds like a bad gig. It sounds like a bad radio gig. Like, we're going to fly you out to Saudi Arabia and you're going to play, like, you're going to call a flag football game. No, I'm not. Like, it's like the $10 million to him is the equivalent of like $10,000 to us. Like, I'll give you $10,000 to go to Saudi Arabia and call a flag football game. No. Yeah, you would. You're doing that cruise. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
That's a lot of money.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sport.
According to head coach Mike Vrabel yesterday, there's a chance, repeat, a chance, he could return to the field this week.
It's a chance. It's a chance that a lot of things could happen. It's Monday, and we'll figure out how he progresses along the week, and we'll see what he can do. Have him do what he can do.
In addition, defensive coordinator Terrell Williams will apparently be around and involved this week as well. There were a pair of Monday night games yesterday evening. The Chargers won in Las Vegas 20-9. Tampa Bay got a touchdown with 6 seconds left. They won in Houston 20-19. Minnesota quarterback J.J. McCarthy has a high ankle sprain. He is out the next 2 to 4 weeks. Also, Washington's Jaden Daniels reportedly has a sprained knee. He may not play this weekend against Las Vegas. Red Sox had last night off. They open up a 3-game series with the Athletics tonight at Fenway Park. Rookie lefty Connolly Early will make his second major league start. And the New England Revolution yesterday fired manager Caleb Porter. Assistant Pablo Morero will take over on an interim basis. The Revs' record is 8 wins, 14 losses, and 8 draws with 4 matches left. They visit the Philadelphia Union on Saturday night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by AZEK Exteriors. Cheap overseas-made imitators might look similar until they fail. Don't cut corners. Use AZEK trim made in America. Visit azekexteriors.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. It's a separation. Yeah. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake Maye.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And now, back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy, and you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. We were talking about how Tom Brady, he's calling games for Fox. He was in the box last night at the Vegas Raiders game. He was in the Vegas Raiders box with a headset on, which would annoy the hell out of me if I was Chip Kelly. He was wearing a suit, though, which was he's very elegant in his suits. And he's playing in a flag football game in Saudi Arabia with other some current NFL players. Pete Carroll is going to be one of the coaches there. I'd imagine he's getting a lot of money, and I inquired, why would you... part of the reason to have money is to be able to say no to things. I don't understand why you would go. It's just piling money on top of money. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I was just saying, it's not like Tom Brady has $500 million in an account that he's collecting 8% interest on. I mean, that guy's got $30 million homes. I mean, what do you think the mortgage is on that thing? He spends it just as fast as he makes it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, how much did he make in his career? And then you would have to plus the $40 million plus the business interests with Fanatics and
minus the $2 million yacht.
Okay, but
Ferrari,
then he owns 10% of the. Then he owns right, but then he owns 10% of the Vegas Raiders, and that goes up $100 million a year.
He's rich as they get. I get it.
I just don't understand why throwing $10 million on top of. I get why you want to stay active in business, and you even want to grow an empire. This is a gig, though. This is like going to Saudi Arabia on a gig, like a one-off thing. If I'm understanding it correctly, it's a one-off thing just to go to Saudi Arabia, and they had to have just blown him away with money. But part of the thing about money is just being able to go, I don't have to do that. That's part of the thing. Do you want to go to Springfield and sit at a gas station for 2 hours for $300? No, because I don't need the $300 that bad.
Okay, but here's what I think is a good analogy. Guys like Elton John, who's probably got a similar net worth to Tom Brady. Is that fair?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Elton John, up until a couple of years ago, maybe is still, to my knowledge, he'll come and play your private party. He'll come and play at Gillette Stadium for the Kraft Gala.
There's a big difference between flying in to play something in Foxborough to going out to be in a circus in Saudi Arabia. He's still applying his trade. He just has to come in and do what he enjoys.
And what does Tom Brady enjoy above all things? It's not calling games.
I don't think it's playing in a joke flag football game, Hardy.
I think throwing a football around is probably what he wants to do more than anything.
I don't think if you played in the NFL playing a joke flag football game it pales in comparison.
He can't do that anymore, so he can do this instead.
Okay, maybe you're right. I don't understand it. We'll just agree to disagree. I don't think that it's super fun. I don't think anyone's going there to have fun. I think they're going there because they're getting blown away with money. Just like I don't think playing on the Live Tour is fun, but you're getting blown away with money. Like everything you dreamed of, you're giving up to go play in front of nobody and not be on TV. But they give you so much money you can't say no.
But enough of what it is that you really like to do so it's not a total nightmare.
I don't know if he likes just the act of throwing a football. I think he liked playing in the NFL and winning and playing the game of football.
He likes competing.
This isn't a competition, though. Do you think do you think the current NFL players are going to be trying in that game? This seems like a kind of like a weird conversation. Like these guys are going to collect the money. They're not going there for like an honest conversation. Like if I'm Christian McCaffrey, Shanahan's one of the coach. I can't believe we're even this deep into it. If Shanahan,
you started talking about it.
No, I know, but I can't believe we're talking about like they're going to take a exhibition flag football game seriously.
Yeah, what do you hear about these guys all the time?
Okay.
They want to win at everything. They always. Well, don't dismiss it. You brought it up again. I'm trying to make a point.
Okay.
The point is this. You know these guys are ultra competitive. You see it with Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. It's like he's pissed when he loses a game of pitching quarters against a wall. They want to compete. So, yes, there'll be a tiny bit of competition element. There's a tiny bit of football. And I don't dismiss the notion of $10 million being a significant amount of money, even to Tom Brady. I think that is.
$10 million, you have more of a point than the competing in the flag football game. And by the way, Charlie Sheen and his father beat Michael Jordan in a 2-on-1 basketball game. Did you know that? There was a free throw contest.
Somebody's been watching a documentary.
Yeah. And it's the most riveting part of it. I don't know why it's in the documentary, but it is. They did something at like a high school gym where they shot free throws, played horse, and then played 2-on-1. And they won the free throw. And Michael Jordan had to shoot him with his eyes closed. So they won free throw and the 2-on-1, but lost the
horse.
They lost the horse because they
Sounds
can't
like
win.
it was severely handicapped.
It was.
Let's all love this horse.
But I got a news for you. Having played Scalabrine, Jordan was not trying in that game. No. If Jordan wanted to beat them 2-on-1, Jordan would have beat them 2-on-1.
That was a lesson
But
learned.
Sheen doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Like he's still under the impression that they actually beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are like 5'6". I've hung out. Charlie Sheen's a very charismatic guy. He was great.
50, 60? How old
He's
is
60.
60, yeah.
61, maybe. Is he 60 or 61? I think he's 60. He's 10 years older than me. What a life he's lived compared to you, John. You're the same age.
Yep.
I'd take HIV not to be you.
He's been around the block a few times.
It's strangely not that great a documentary. To be honest with you. All right, so we played Girls Go for Status. I just wanted to take that phone call because they're so rare when they're not Blind Scott, who apparently called Ben Maller 2 nights ago and pretended to be me. No. And I'm sure Ben Maller fell hook, line, and sinker for it and started talking about my children on the phone. Best not to pull the audio. I don't think I want to hear it. But Paul Feinbaum, we've talked about Bill Belichick, his wonderful relationship. And did you see, I think you guys did, the Jordan Hudson holding the door open at, I believe, halftime of the North Carolina game. They're coming off 2 big wins against Richmond and Charlotte.
It's a blowout over the weekend.
Their schedule is a real joke. I've been keeping an eye on it, and their schedule stinks. Stanford's on it, though, who BC just lost to. So
yeah.
Well, you don't. Do you have season tickets like I do?
I do not.
Yeah, well,
I do not. Well, you bought those as an investment, is what you did.
No, I didn't. I bought them to go with my friends, but I am going to turn around those Notre Dame games, which are getting less valuable by the day.
Say Notre Dame lost last week.
Yeah, Notre Dame's 0-2. They lost last week. They lost 2 weeks. They're 0-2, and BC's 1-2. So it's not some great thing. They're at UCF. They got Clemson, who's not that great. They're at Cal. Their schedule's not that hard. All right. Anyway, Paul Feinbaum, the great Paul Feinbaum, who we play calls the voice of college football, had some things to say about Bill Belichick.
In the few minutes I have left with you, Paul Feinbaum, your assessment of the first 2 games of Bill Belichick's collegiate coaching career is what?
Fairly laughable. I want to be a fan of Bill Belichick, but he makes it impossible. The first game was just an absolute and total disaster on the biggest stage that he will ever have at North Carolina. The second game meant nothing. I mean, they're playing at Charlotte. I mean, not exactly the bastion of college football. I think he'll struggle. I think his comments this week make it even more difficult. I mean, why do you have to continue to be Bill Belichick? I guess maybe because you're 73 years old. But to say what he did about locking the Patriots out, it's just downright stupid. And by the way, we both saw the first game against TCU. Did you see a single prospect on his team that anybody would want to come visit? I didn't. But in deference to your players, you can't say that. You want to open the doors. But Bill Belichick's always been a petty, small-minded man. But when you win 6 Super Bowls and you're an assistant on 2 other ones, you can get away with that.
What a way to go. What a way to ride into retirement. Is you have Paul Feinbaum calling you a petty and small-minded man. This is a pretty good lesson on how not to handle yourself. Like, you pulled the wool over everyone's eyes for 20 years and had everyone thinking that you were a genius. But now your actions have made everyone come out of the woodwork to talk about what an idiot you are in real life. And now you have Paul Feinbaum talking about what a disaster you are. You have your girlfriend holding the door. I'm not making it up. She's holding the door for the players to get in at halftime. His girlfriend. I don't even know.
She's making herself useful.
Get off of Bill Belichick for a second. If you're the girl, why do you want to hold the door open for the guys? This is all so strange. Like if I was with a very powerful woman and she wanted me, and like say she was like a stage actress and they were like, why don't you go on stage during the curtain call and stand and, kneel next to them and do so, whatever you do during a curtain call. I'd be like, no, that's okay. She's the actress. I don't need to be on stage with her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, I don't understand the driving motivator of just putting yourself in the crosshairs like that. Like, why? Obviously, she desperately wants to be famous, but she complains every time that anyone makes fun of her. So what do you want?
Just the positive aspects of it.
Yeah, but then you got to do something.
Well, that goes above and beyond. She thinks that she's done it. She thinks that she's already taken that step. I am dating a world famous college football coach.
It might as well be high school.
I've already taken that step. I should be famous because I'm dating him.
But the thing is that
there's more involved.
But there's not an accomplishment in that. Is that you just are sacrificing yourself to the whims of an old gross man?
She clearly sees it differently.
Well, that's just not the way fame. Like, if you don't want any negatives, you have to produce a positive.
Right.
Like, if Margot Robbie gets followed by the paparazzi, I'd imagine. But she's also a at least Oscar-nominated actress. So what she does is act in film that people enjoy her performances in. Now, as a result of that, she becomes rich and famous. And there is the downside, which is the paparazzi. There's that downside of fame. But there is also that rush of you're great at what you do, and millions of people respect you for it. So there's a yin and a yang to it. Hers is all yang. You don't just bang an old gross dude and then insert yourself into their life at an almost disgusting degree and then have everyone just universally love you. You're something of which to be mocked. And I would think that if you just wanted to be in a relationship with the guy, the last thing I do is dress up and stand on the sidelines opening the door for the players.
Don't find the camera shot. don't make sure that you find the camera shot. Maybe just stay in the background if that's what you want.
My feelings on this relationship are evolving so much. Everyone in it is so awful that. But now I'm because I'm more her age than his age, or about the same, about halfway. 23. Yeah,
you're right in between.
I'm right in between.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand either one of them. Because if I'm her, why the hell do I want to be on the field?
Yeah, you should be the perfect relationship counselor for that.
I really should be. And if I'm him, I mean, he's lost his mind. So that's over. But if I'm her, what do you take the money, start the businesses, buy the property? What do you got to be on the sidelines for?
So did we talk about this much after the game 2 weekends ago when she had the purse with the crumpled up papers?
We did not talk
inside
about it, but I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, so she had a clear stadium bag, and inside of it were a bunch of papers that had been printed out, and certain words were highlighted. Words like producers, directors, moral rights were also highlighted. So she's trying to send some kind of a signal or make some kind of a statement. I believe that statement is, I'm slipping into madness. And this is not a cry for help. I'm doing my own thing here, and watch me do it. Because people who really have something to say will just say it. People who can formulate their thoughts and have a coherent message to put out there, just put out the message. Instead, she just says things like, statement to come, after the CBS debacle, and then no statement ever comes out. But she's communicating with emojis and trying to make these statements by stuffing a clear purse full of papers with things highlighted on it and wanting people, and to her credit, they're right, zooming in on it and trying to make out what it's all about. But she's, I really believe, like, starting to lose it now. And a lot of it has to do with the podcast and the two women she was talking to, with Charlotte Wilder and her podcast partner, when they wanted her to come on. And instead of just going on the podcast and talking about it, she talked to him on the phone for 5, 6, 7 hours over the course of 3 or 4 phone calls, desperately wanting some validation or friendship, or just to try and talk out what's going on inside of her head, because it's starting to come to it was already at a simmer. I think it's starting to boil.
Yeah, she kind of backed the wrong horse here. Like, this is not working out the way I think that was the plan. And now you got to kind of just be stubborn and not get off the horse.
Yeah.
Not let it buck you off. Because now you're kind of like, now that people are talking, like, the last thing you can do is leave the relationship. You got to find an out. And that would be he did something bad to you. And you just got to wait for the old man to crack, I guess. Dan, go ahead.
Oh, please, please, please let her get pregnant. And I don't care who the dad is. These old guys do it all the time. These old celebrities get these young girls pregnant. Please, 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 please.
Yes,
that would be the next step. That would be. That'd be.
But then there's
step.
a child in the world.
Yep.
That has to deal with it. Who's got the brain power of these two people, then the means to cause trouble. And it's an innocent born into the world. I actually hope she does not get pregnant. He certainly could do it. I mean, you're never really infertile, I guess. I mean, Mick Jagger and all those dudes have kids.
Al Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino's got Robert De Niro. He's got to keep doing bad movies because he owes so many people money for kids. That's when you take the Saudi Arabia gig if you want to go full circle on it. Is you got a next... I didn't think of that. He's got 2 ex-wives, but one of them was rich. I don't know. He must need money in some way. Robert, very quickly, and then we'll break. Robert, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, so I just want to talk on how Belichick's girlfriend is probably doing like a gold digger type of thing, and she's going to transition to a college player instead of like Belichick. And that's why she's like full.
No, she'll have to go like full Christian guy. Like she'll have to go like into like a very like pious, like Christian-y kind of thing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Like
a relationship beyond reproach type of thing?
Yes, like a protective cocoon of like
I'm dating this
no, I'm married.
I'm marrying this minister. What are you going to say about that?
Or
nothing they can do.
Or like a reality star that's super into Jesus, like something like that.
Yeah.
To put herself in a cocoon of like of moral high ground, because the martyr thing's not working out. So next weak-minded step is to go moral high ground on the people. Martyr, victim or moral high ground. These are the places for idiots to try to reach some sort of happiness. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy next on the Sports Hub.
Playing over 500, our goal is to play in October.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Tim Healy is the Red Sox beat writer for the Boston Globe as the Red Sox took 1 of 3 against the Yankees, which was a bit of a surprise at home. I thought that they would do better than that.
Suddenly, placement in the wild card standings very much up for grabs.
Well, there was talk of them winning, and I thought it was very much a possibility of winning the division, but that is no longer a possibility.
Houston's only a half a game behind them for that second wild card now.
Yeah, it's Seattle and Houston. Houston's half game out of the AL West. The Tigers have just been treading water. I don't think they're overly interested in the season anymore until the playoffs. I just don't think they are. I don't think that they're, you had a Skubal who thought he might be injured. There was I think right now everyone's just keep everyone healthy.
Yeah.
If you're making the playoffs,
well,
just
you
keep
asked
everyone
me what
healthy.
was more important, home field or the health of the Red Sox 3 starters. It's absolutely the health of the Red Sox 3 starters.
I would agree, but we'll ask Tim Healy. Tim, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
All right. So we probably talked about with this with you before, but if I don't remember, I can't imagine the audience remembers. Your theory on home field in the playoffs and how much you should push things at the end.
Well, having the top 3 pitchers available for the wild card round is certainly more important than using them in the last weekend to try to get home field. So in that sense, I agree with you guys. I believe that, it's not worth going all out for if you're going to make the playoffs.
Okay, and at what point are you comfortable if you're Boston? Are you comfortable now? When do you feel comfortable if you're Boston?
If I'm the Red Sox, then I wouldn't feel comfortable until it's clinched. As somebody who is making travel plans and for early October, I'm comfortable now planning to not be home and, have hotels in a few different cities and things like that. Because let's be honest, it's 2 weeks to go, 12 games to go, and the Red Sox have a 3-game cushion for a playoff spot over now the Guardians as well as the Rangers. So those are the teams they have to keep an eye on the most, but it's an extreme likelihood that they will make the playoffs.
The last 10 games or so have been uneven at best for the Red Sox. Is it too simple to say that not having Roman Anthony in the lineup is to blame for this?
Well, Roman Anthony's the biggest piece. I think when it's Roman Anthony on top of Wilyer Abreu being out, then that starts to get at why they haven't hit very much. So, no, I don't think it's too simple. I think Roman Anthony is the biggest variable there. They were bad before Roman Anthony came up. They were good with Roman Anthony and are mediocre again without Roman Anthony. So I believe in the old, as a wise man once said, you are what your record says you are. And without Roman Anthony, the Red Sox have been a mediocre team.
Is that kind of exciting in a way that you have a player that's that young and that, important to the organization? If you want to look at it in an incredibly positive way.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a very positive spin on it because this is a guy who is going to be around for a long time, and as good as he was, as good as he has been for the 3 months or so that he was on the team. In theory, that's just the start, right? He should take a step forward over a full season, never mind as he gets into his mid and late 20s, his theoretical prime. So it seems that the Red Sox have quite the elite player on their hands.
I'm looking into starting pitching, and obviously there are the 3 guys that you want to pitch in a division series, Giolito, Crochet, and Bayo. And the Red Sox seem to have been very fortunate. With
In that order.
Right. It seemed to have been very fortunate with all three of them. Crochet has blown through his career innings high, and he shows no signs of slowing down. Bayo's crowding that innings limit, and Giolito is far better than what they thought he was going to be. Do you think all three of them are going to be able to be in top form for the playoffs, considering the workload that's been dumped on them?
It seems like they absolutely can, because as you said, they haven't really shown too many red flags. I keep expecting Brian Bayo in particular to regress, and he's just not. It seems like that this isn't so much a hot stretch as it is just him taking that step forward to being a legitimate number 2-ish starting pitcher, which is not something he had been previously, certainly not before June. So that's a great development for the Red Sox for the next couple of weeks and beyond. Crochet, his numbers speak for themselves this year. He's one of the best things going, and he has allowed way more home runs in the past month and a half or so than he had previously. So that is one red flag, but on the whole, he has still been quite good. And then Giolito, yes, has been better than they expected and hasn't been quite as consistent or dominant, effective as the other two. But as far as number 3 starters in the playoffs go, you have to like your chances with Giolito.
How much of the credit for the success of the pitching and the team as a whole do you give to Alex Bregman for calling these guys at 3:00 in the morning and waking them up from a sound sleep?
Yeah, he seems like a real pain in the ass.
As you write about, it's a really good piece.
Jesus Christ! Can we have this conversation at 8?
He's just up in everybody's business, which is great when there's success. But holy crap, the guy no stone unturned with this guy.
Well, thank you for reading. First of all, that was a fun story it was a fun story to put together. First of all, in the Globe a couple days ago, because Crochet and Giolito separately in post-game interviews had mentioned in passing, and Alex Bregman did such and such to help me with my scouting report, and I thought that's weird. Third basemen don't typically help pitchers. So I asked some other pitchers, and more importantly, asked the catchers. And it was Carlos Narvaez who almost sheepishly said, yeah, Bregman called at 1 a.m. one weekend in New York and made Wong and I come to his room to talk about the pitching, because Alex Bregman has this almost obsessive, borderline maniacal interest in helping all of the Red Sox, not just himself, not just the hitters, but the pitchers as well. And it was funny to hear from Bregman that, yes, he did call Carlos Narvaez at 1 a.m. That night trying to figure things out, because that happened at a time when the Red Sox were not going good. And they were determined to figure it out. And Bregman was injured, and the pitchers weren't very effective and all of that. So, it's hard to put a number or put a real concrete value on some of those intangibles that Alex Bregman brings to the table, but the Red Sox swear by it, not just at the managerial level, but more on the ground with the players. So it was certainly an interesting thing to hear.
What are the odds he's going to be in a Red Sox uniform next season with his opt-out a possibility this winter?
I think it's a virtual certainty that he opts out of the contract, but the Red Sox will have every ability to retain him. I think.
But will they? That's the difference.
Will they? I don't know. Beats me. I think they're going to want to. I think they know what they have in him. But once you get to free agency, all it takes is one team to truly blow him away, and then it's over. He's gone. So I think the most likely outcome to me is that he stays with the Red Sox, but that is not a certainty.
All right. Well, certainly I bet you there's some guys on there that could do without him. Waking him up in the middle of the night. You get him out of here. He cares too much. All right.
Look, I promise I'll mix in my four-seamer a little bit more, but just can we talk about it tomorrow?
Right.
Maybe over breakfast.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. All right, Tim Healy, where do you want to go? If you can't stay home, where do you want to go?
I really like the idea of going to New York and not halfway across the country to Houston or all the way across the country to Seattle. So New York sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, that would probably be the best. That would probably be for the best. All right, thanks, Tim. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. You have to think of the writers.
I agree with him. I'd rather take the Acela, get on a plane, and go for 6 hours to Seattle.
Well, you'll take the regular train to Philadelphia if they cancel a flight on you.
So, that was the Acela that day.
Oh, I take it back then.
All right.
How long did that take you?
5.
No way.
5.
No way.
5 and change. Sorry. 5 and change.
Yeah, it's going to get more and more.
No, not 6. 5.
Door to door.
From the moment I boarded the train.
No,
Route
from the moment you left your house.
Oh, that's different. That's way different. That's a lot more.
Yes. John had to get to his in-laws' house. He couldn't wait.
Yeah. Got on a train.
They
Route
canceled
128
it.
station.
He had perfectly good flights planned.
Yep.
And they canceled one of them. And then he saw the weather was going to be bad the next day. Instead of rejoicing and thinking how fortunate he was to not have to go, he got up in the crack of ass and went and took a train to Philadelphia by himself. Oosh. You're insane. Do you know that? You're insane. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. We can talk a little bit about Tom Brady being in the booth last night as he was in Vegas's booth. Yeah. And Pete Carroll talked about it. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots players will be back at practice tomorrow. Question is, will Christian Gonzalez be out there? Mike Vrabel said yesterday there's a chance that Gonzalez could return this week. He hasn't practiced in almost 2 months. The Patriots' next game is at home against Pittsburgh on Sunday. There were a pair of Monday night games last night. Chargers won in Las Vegas 20-9. Tampa Bay beat Houston 20-19. Red Sox had last night off. They opened up a 3-game series against the Athletics this evening. And the New England Revolution yesterday fired manager Caleb Porter with 4 matches left in their season. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Green Home Solutions. If you've got mold or funky odors creeping around your home or office, don't mess around. Visit greenhomesolutions.com/Boston to book your free consultation today. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Hardy and why.
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
Hello. We are Toucher and Hardy. And, Adam 12's got an office.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a whole office. Have you ever had an office before at anywhere you've worked?
Nope.
I shared an office with Howie in Brighton.
Okay.
Oh, how'd that go?
It was good.
Huh?
On days when I would have my kids with me, which seemed to happen like more frequently than you would think, but there's just like no way around it. They either didn't have school or daycare or something. I would just have to bring them with me to work even for a couple hours. My daughter especially would sit back there and talk to Howie while he was trying to do actual work. And I'm like, well, I got to go down the hall and be on the air. So you stay down here with Mr. Sylvester and just bother him for a while. It was kind of sweet.
I had a drawer at 99X, and then there was the option for a locker at WBCM, but I did not take the locker. So the most I've ever had anywhere I've worked ever at any job is a drawer.
And that was when you were hosting mornings. That's actually surprising to me that you didn't at least have a space as the morning show host.
No, we did what we did here. We went to a meeting room after.
Huh.
No, there's no space. We were no office. So I've never had an office. I always thought I would as a child, because I remember the one time I went to my dad's agency, he had an office. We went to a Christmas party when I was like 5 at his office, full of martinis and cigarette smoke. And that was the only time I ever glimpsed my father's office in my entire life. I was there once.
The same dad that says his job was nothing like Mad Men, the TV show, but what you just described is exactly like Mad Men.
Oh, he does not like the idea of Mad Men.
I love that arc about your dad, that when you bring that up, he gets
So my dad worked in Manhattan in advertising in the 60s. So it's when Mad Men it's literally Mad Men.
Right.
But he gets so you go like, hey, do you want to watch Mad Men? It makes sense. It's of your lifetime. It's of your era. You worked on Madison Avenue in New York City while this was going on, while it was set. It's like, no, it's nothing like that. But then he'll tell stories about how you had to go to his boss. And now I hear this in biographies, so it's like I'm wondering if this is just something people said, that you had to go to his boss before noon because after he got back from lunch, he was all drunk and like you had he became like a little more volatile. So, but I'm hearing that now. Like I was listening to those Condé Nast like editor books, like the guy from Vanity Fair and whatever, and it's like the same thing. Like you didn't go into the publisher's office after lunch because people would get hammered at lunch, which seems like a when you're young, that's great, but I can't imagine being 50 and getting tanked at lunch, and then what are you just not going to drink until dinner? I mean, you're getting that's the come down comes if you're getting drunk at noon, you got to stay at work until 6, 7. I mean, you got to maintain that buzz.
Well, Fred, maybe you and I are not qualified to have that conversation.
They're drinking at noon. They're getting drunk at noon on a weekday.
But you and I'll just speak for me. I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't go to a tailgate at noon and start drinking because I'm like, oh no. Because once I start, then that's what I'm doing until all the drinking is done. I'm not going to go have a beer or two.
Well, yeah, but if the option was there, I'm the same way. But I would, if the option was I was drinking, then I'm drinking, and I can't think if you're drinking every day at noon that you have the self-control to then just stop.
Yeah,
I'd imagine that's something like at least a bottle in the drawer. But you could smoke and drink at work. But he admits that. But then he says they can't. I don't know. He gets all crazy about the Mad Men thing.
Let's get him on the phone.
Yeah,
let's talk to him.
We can have him on one day. He acts all nice, and then everyone goes like, "Oh, your dad's so nice," and then you're like, "Okay." But yeah, we could have him on. He'll tell you he gets all upset about it, but he'll probably act like he wasn't upset about it.
Yeah, having him on. No, you'd have to like visit him for the holidays and record him. Like that
I'm not
would be
doing
the
that.
real.
And I'm
I know
not
you.
doing
And
that
I wouldn't
to
ask
him.
you to do that.
No,
That's
he's
not,
83 years old. I'm not going to start taping
you
the
would
guy.
get the real reaction.
No,
but I
wouldn't do that to him.
Very entertaining that he denies that he was part of this culture when clearly
But
that's what was
but
going on.
I can give you a perfect example of my father. So there's an elderly person that's passing away, and I have friends whose parents have passed away, and they've said that at a certain level of medicine, it makes them like super angry and like they start yelling and stuff. So you have two options: is one to take them off the drugs altogether, which leaves them in pain and miserable, or to really double down on these things and get them kind of like in a heroin fog. So I went to my dad and I'm like, hey, because he knows the person too. I'm like, so-and-so is dying. And do you know the part where they give him the drugs and they start like yelling and screaming? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, have you heard that before? And he's like, yeah, Freddie, I've never been with anyone while they were dying. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, but you live in a community with people that are dying all the time.
You're aware that people on this earth die.
Right,
and
like
sometimes end
no
of
one
life.
shared any information with you. And he's like, well, I haven't been around it. Like, that's his, like, he's so logical. Like that. I don't want to go on record as telling you, Freddie, on the phone that I've heard this happening, but, you know, so like I haven't witnessed it with my own eyes, so I can't tell you for sure. Because I was telling the person who's is related to the person dying, I was like, you know, I have friends whose parents have died where they've said this has happened. And then so I wanted to make sure I was correct, and so I asked my father. I tried to call my mother, but she's in the choir, and so
sure.
Oh,
yeah, she's performing
church choir.
Got stuff to do.
Yeah, church like you wouldn't believe. 1,000-seater, baby.
Do you go to the performances when you're back there?
I have seen her. Have I seen her perform? I've been to that church. I don't think I've seen her perform. She has never performed at Christmas. It's too much double duty. And also, they only get the all-stars at Christmas.
Oh.
Like, it's not the full choir. My mom's just a background crony. She's not like a Christmas Eve, they'll pull out like 4 people and they'll sing.
Right.
Real put on a show. I told you this Christmas Eve, we went to church and they did like Adam and Eve as like the part of the Bible that they did.
That's hot.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. You went Old Testament on the people. You went like the creation.
Wait, hold on, so we're not doing baby Jesus?
No, they didn't.
No,
they were in like the whole like reading from the Bible. Like it's not a pleasant story.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Tonight, Job. Oh no.
Yeah, it was something.
I thought we were getting the other show.
Oh, this is dark.
And this is like a church that's non-denominational too. It's Christian, but it's not a denomination. And it's like they have big movie screens and stuff. It's 1,000-seater. It's like a big whole show.
Is that the Righteous Gemstone situation?
No, I wish that would be great if I could go into one of those barns. No, this is just a community church, and there's 6,000 homes. So, you know, 1,000 people want to go to church.
Right.
And they're a lot of these people weren't religious, but, you know, then you get old.
How it becomes more important
exactly.
when you
No, that's what my mom said. She's like, you know, a lot of people aren't religious, so this is perfect. It's a non-denominational church where you can just go and kind of like dot your I's and cross your T's. You understand?
At least you had a nice, for dinner when you got home, a nice lasagna sitting on the garbage can in the garage.
That's right. My mom went to get the horrible Italian food from the terrible restaurant. And then when we pulled up after the church, which I graciously agreed to attend, the food that we were to eat that evening was sitting on top of a trash can and had to be reheated. And I asked my mother, is the restaurant still open? We went to church at like 5. I'm like, is the restaurant still open? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why'd you pick up the food? And she's like, yeah, all right. Well,
the whole thing.
I made you cry. You know, far be it for me to question the trash in the garage
trash
aspect of the
lasagna.
food. But listen, I can understand why that would make you weep. I will move and go about other business because I like being here with my ex-wife and my children. So this is just incredibly fun for me. So just please. Take everything real personally. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Andrew Callahan will be in studio for an hour.
It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots are 1-1 after a road win over Miami last weekend. They'll be back home to play Pittsburgh this Sunday. Now, despite a bad afternoon in Miami last weekend, Mike Vrabel said yesterday he is sticking with rookie kicker Andres Borregales.
I don't think we're ready to have that conversation yet. He's made every kick in the fourth quarter. He's made meaningful kicks. That's where I'm at. Wouldn't have gone out there with Andy. It wasn't like I debated long. And he knows he has a job to do, and we have full confidence in him to do his job.
Vrabel added the team might have Christian Gonzalez on the field in some capacity this weekend as well. He met the media yesterday and said Gonzalez could return this week. There's a chance he will be back. Another guy who might be back is defensive coordinator Terrell Williams. He missed last week over a health issue. Vrabel added yesterday Williams will be around and involved this week. In other NFL news, the LA Chargers beat Las Vegas last night 20-9, and Tampa Bay scored a touchdown with 6 seconds left. They won in Houston 20-19. Red Sox had last night off. They opened up a 3-game series against the Athletics tonight at Fenway Park. Rookie lefty Connolly Early will make his second major league start, and the New England Revolution have fired manager Caleb Porter. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Mass Energy. Stay safe and warm this winter with your local home heating oil provider, and learn more about BioHeat Fuel at massenergymarketers.org. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app, the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Half Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Love the execution on the two-point conversion. Love the, wanted to be decisive and aggressive. And I felt like we were early on. You could see how we played in short yardage situationally. You could see the ball coming out on 4th and 3 and Diggsy being able to snap down, get it, whatever the situation called for. So there's a lot of really good examples of us doing that.
We're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Andrew Callahan is the Patriots reporter, and he's a columnist for the Boston Herald. Andrew is brought to you by Ramjack New England, your local foundation repair experts. Visit them at ramjack.com. All right. Here is the deal. The Athletic has come out with their ranking of the NFL quarterbacks. They update it every week. Would anyone care to guess where Drake Maye is now ranked in the top 32 quarterbacks. It includes, by the way, Carson Wentz and Tyrod Taylor and Jake Browning.
Okay.
So, and Mac Jones. So there is a little bit of foundation there.
Based on
at the bottom, there's a solid foundation of quarterbacks.
Based on his efficiency last weekend, I'd say he's in the 10 to 15 range.
Yeah, I would say with just the no picks alone, he's got to be in the top half. I'll say 14.
What would you say, Andrew?
16.
Andrew is the most correct. He's 18th. Behind Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen.
Is this by our guy, Jeff Howe?
Let me see here. This is by Jeff Howe. That is his rankings. Yeah. There you go. He has ranked them all. And at the bottom is Carson Wentz, and right ahead of him is Tyrod Taylor. How dare you? Tyrod has had such an established career. All right, Andrew, you are coming back. The Courtyard from Marriott in Fort Lauderdale will never be the same?
No, one of about 10. Doug and I went to the wrong one. This is late Saturday night. We pull into the parking lot, see our pal Mark Daniels, who we knew was not at our hotel. We go, "What are you doing here?"
Oh.
He says, "What do you mean? This is my hotel." "Oh, we'll be on our way."
All right, so the Herald springs for the Courtyard by Marriott. You have to have many points now.
This was Courtyard by the Sea, though, I'll tell you. We were...
Oh, well. How about that?
A little upgrade there.
Little
East
run
Fort
on the
Lauderdale.
beach. Nice.
Nice gym. Solid location. It was good.
All right. Listen, what were your takeaways from that game? We were, wringing our hands about the possibility of losing to a team whose coach is most likely going to get fired Friday morning, as we were talking about off air. You went into a very dysfunctional situation, but you can't win there, and you can't beat that quarterback. So you achieved that. What does that mean to you?
So I understand the people that might want to dismiss a win against a team, like you said, that could have a new coach in a matter of like 5-6 days. To me, where this Patriots team has come from, 4 losing seasons in 5 years, everything we saw with Gerard Mayo before Bill Belichick. You won in Miami, which you've not done since the pandemic. You won in Miami when Drake Maye had his best start as an NFL player, coming off of a game where we're going, hey, where's the year 2 leap? That dude took a step back in the opener. So this is hugely encouraging. Of course, the defense was a mess, and that'll happen in September. So I looked at this game as equal parts surprise, where you got the kick return touchdown, the punt return touchdown, and then they score 30 points for the first time in 3 years, as much as it was the slop. But when you win a football game in September, where the standard is not perfection, it's not the playoffs, it's not anything, just get better and get wins, they did both those things.
Yeah, and how did they do it? How did they handle Miami's offense defensively?
I mean, they didn't, right? They run 15 plays in the first half, Miami does, and after that 3 and out, they have 4 straight scoring drives, but they're averaging something like, 10 yards a play. Their whole goal was to force Tua to throw to the perimeter, and so they played a lot of their base quarters coverage, which is this too high stuff that can kind of morph into man. They played a lot of disguise cover 2, and then some cover 3. But the point was, Tua played this cat and mouse game very well, throwing these corner routes, which we all saw for like 15 yards apiece to Waddle, then 15 yards to Hill, and then he'd throw into the flat. So they never got a grip on this. But the issue was, they did not want to blitz at all. They blitzed once. The whole game, on 39 dropbacks for Tua, they blitzed once. And so they said, front 4, you got to get home. In the first 3 quarters, as they're kind of rotating between cover 2 and 3 and 4, they got 3 pressures in the whole first 3 quarters.
Oof.
In the last quarter, and you'll have a range of numbers on this depending on who's watching the film, I had them for 12. Jeez. So you go from 3 pressures in the first 3 quarters, obviously affected by how often they pass, to 12 in the fourth. That's why, at least defensively, they shut Miami out. Milton Williams and Christian Barmore were the difference.
Okay, and it wasn't anything schematically. It was just...
No, they made some adjustments, but it was more, okay, we'll play a little bit more of that cover 3, which is a defense designed, as most of the game plan was, we're control the middle of the field. We want to see you throw these ducks. Like we saw that one fly 47 yards to Tyreek Hill, had to come back for the ball on that deep ball to Alex Austin, throw to the outside, and eventually that'll pay off. It took too long for that to pay off, but mostly because the pressure didn't get there. Some of the safeties played a little tighter to routes and squeezed the space, but I understand why they were like, hey, man, I'm going to give Tyreek all the space he needs, because if we're even, he's winning a foot race to the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
So there were no big adjustments. It was just the pressure piece got much better.
When you watch Tua play, do you wonder about his physical gifts? Like if he...
No, I know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is he a starting quarterback in the NFL?
He's a starting quarterback in the NFL because he was a highly accomplished college passer who threw accurately and had some good instincts. And he's in the system with a coach that understands how to maximize those talents, even though he's never played behind a good offensive line, because they just go, we're in motion before the snap, we're in motion after the snap, the ball's going to get out quickly. And to his credit, despite taking whatever we're up to, like 4 concussions.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah,
it's not good. He stood in and took some hits in the fourth quarter. It wasn't consistently enough, but even when those pressures went up, as I said, 12 in the fourth quarter alone, according to the charting I had, he's getting first down completions anyway because he's got a very quick release. He's accurate within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. But anything beyond that, you're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem ideal.
No.
And he's not fast either. Like, it's not like he's got really good legs. He's slow. He doesn't have a good arm. It just seems like I don't understand why he was such a high pick.
Well, he had injury concerns coming out of college, too, if you remember.
But like nothing about him says I'm a really good pro quarterback.
Well, you can talk yourself into any of these guys, but you go, he's accurate, he's a winner, right? Yeah. He comes from a good pedigree in a program, and he's a 5-star this and that, and you got the Nick Saban stamp of approval for whatever that's worth. But there's a reason, and he wasn't right to do this. That Brian Flores, every time Tua showed up for work, was like, you suck. Get out of here. I don't want you as my quarterback. That was day one for that dude living it. But they went to the playoffs 2 years ago, and that's one playoff game, which, by the way, in Miami is a giant success.
All right.
0 playoff wins since 2000. But for him in this system, he can make the rest of it operate. But we all know the reason that it works is not him. It's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
And that's what they needed.
Yes.
And they were aware of that, so that's
yeah,
what
and
they
Devon
got.
Achane. They were like, just get the ball to our guys in space, and we'll have a system that gets him in space as much as possible. Patriots, they missed 14 tackles. But once you force him, and we heard this even 4 years ago, J.C. Jackson, after the Patriots lose a season opener in 2021, tells us it was like the concourse at Gillette. He was like, man, because he had a pick of Tua, so he got to talk his talk even though he lost. Was like, anytime you take away Tua's first read, he just panics. He just throws it up there. And that was his explanation for the pick. You heard the same thing from the Colts about a week and a half ago.
Xavier Howard.
But the taking away the first read, again, Patriots crowded and packed the middle of the field and are playing the same coverages and a little bit of disguise. Sometimes it's harder than it looks.
What's the disconnect with Mike McDaniel and the team down there right now? It can't all stem from, Tyreek Hill and his unhappiness. There's something else not clicking down there.
It's a great question. I think it's a matter of the end of last season where bleep hits the fan. He doesn't seem to be the right coach to kind of give him a kick in the ass and say, this is how we're going to get out of this. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. And I think Mike McDaniel probably gets a bad rap sometimes based on the press conferences. But the bottom line is they were not winning enough games, and he didn't have any solutions. So if you're a guy in the locker room who goes, look, I don't love his demeanor, I don't like the way that he speaks, but he gets our offense going. As soon as those results stop, so does the buy-in. And when you have some questionable characters in the locker room, to put it kindly with Tyreek Hill, I mean, that's a kiss of death. A players-only meeting after the season opener? Are you kidding me?
Well, it's kind of Belichick-like in that if you're not going to be a high-energy guy, if you're going to be the anti-Pete Carroll, and you're not going to be, constantly getting guys up for the game, and Mike McDaniel does not impress me as that type of guy. If your methods and your tactics and everything result in wins, good. You can buy in, just like they did with Belichick for years. But if you're just going to be kind of like unknowable and you're not going to be all that inspiring and you still expect people to go along with the program, well, no, not if we're not winning. I'm not going to go along with this. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Plus, he's kind of a drag to be around.
No, but he's super positive. Like, yes, that was the whole thing is that but he went in and, like, won Tua over. And, like, I don't think he's, like, a drag to be around. I think he's been nothing but positive to those guys. I think it's more
not a drag in the negative sense, but in the uninspiring sense.
You know what he is? He was a rebound. right? Brian Flores. What do you want the opposite once you break up with someone after a while? You want the opposite of that person. So they go chase the big smiley Mike McDaniel, and you hang out for a year. Things are great, and then rebounds fizzle.
And Flores had a lot of energy, but it was a lot of negative energy.
Yes.
Yeah, Flores seemed almost like a psychopath. He seemed very cruel. He just was cruel, like weird. They hated him. I wonder what his tactics were, why he was acting that way. Where he thought that was going to have positive results.
But the thing was, he wasn't bad. The Dolphins weren't terrible. I remember didn't he win like 4 games at the end of his first season, and that includes a big win over Brady and the Patriots
when they were
Foxborough.
actively tanking. Yeah,
and the next season they took another step forward, and then a season after that he was gone. It was a surprise when Flores got fired. And then McDaniel comes in, and this is where I wanted to go with this. McDaniels comes in, and obviously never played the game, but he always said you have to be the smartest guy in the room in that situation. If you're the smartest guy in the room and you're leading your team in the wrong direction, you get fired quickly. And you were saying it could happen in 5 days. They're going to lose to Buffalo on Thursday.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to lose by a lot. So Friday morning, I would imagine they'd fire him.
That's my thought, too. And I think it's a really interesting contrast when we talk about the modern league. And I think Mike Vrabel strikes his balance perfectly. Brian Flores comes from the old school, you will do what I say, you are an employee, this is how we're going to go about our business. And he was super smart. And to your point, Wallach, he was a floor raiser, okay? I'm going to be a pain in your ass, I'm going to ride you, but we'll at least be a competent football team. Mike McDaniel comes from the opposite side. Okay, you're an employee, but I'm going to empower you. This is a partnership. His conversations with Tua were the complete opposite that Brian Flores was. And you go, okay, cool. And they go 11-6, and they go to the playoffs. But what happens is when you need that guy who's going to ride you, when the team is falling apart and there's not enough accountability. Very small example was end of training camp last year with Gerard Mayo. You know, they're making guys run laps for penalties first couple of weeks of camp. That stops at the end. They needed what they got in the front end was empowerment, but at the end was accountability. They're missing that accountability in Miami, and when you let guys get away with a little, they're going to run with a lot, and especially when you're losing, because they know it's not going to be their jobs on the line. It's going to be the head coach.
It's like he's not a CEO is basically what you need in the modern NFL, is that even if you're an expert on one side of the ball, you have to have kind of a command over the whole organization, and maybe that's what he lost. And Vrabel is that guy. I mean, Vrabel's a defensive guy, but, you know, he seems like he's got a hand in everything, and that's what ideally you want. And maybe that's where ex-players who've been in the meetings and stuff like that, they have a little bit of an advantage, is that, you know, they know how every aspect of the organization runs.
Well, he's got command too, right? He walks in a room, you feel it. Mike McDaniel walks in a room, you might not see him behind the first 2-3 rows of guys. And I think he strikes that balance where Flores was feared and Mike McDaniel was loved at the start. Like, people don't want to disappoint Vrabel because they like him, but they also know if you do, he's going to call you out and ream you out.
Is it better to be feared than loved, Andrew Callahan?
I want people to fear how much they love me, I think was the line from Michael Scott, which I think is the wisest possible answer to that question.
Take that, Machiavelli.
Yeah, and it's good that you have that off the top of the dome office knowledge. Best cold open of the office.
I mean, we got to go with Asian Jim.
That's the opening? The cold open?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when the guy from Fresh Off the Boat plays Jim.
Yes.
You got to go fire alarm.
I know. And that was so perfectly timed. Remember after that Super Bowl, we're all in shock of like, oh, my God, the Steelers scored the touchdown. This is the end of the 2008 season. Lead right into the office. I wasn't watching at the time, but that open, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, the fire drill open.
Cat falling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Today, smoking is going to save lives. Yeah.
Because that's something I could see Dwight doing. I could actually see Dwight doing the ignorance of the Asian Jim. It was a little bit hard to swallow.
Yeah, that's true.
Last season of The Office, you find that watchable?
No.
It's terrible.
It's really tough.
It's so odd how it just got terrible, because it wasn't just Carell leaving, because Carell left and they still had good seasons.
So is the last season the one where the energy of the cast kind of changes and everyone's a little more manic? Is that the one where the pacing becomes faster?
Yeah, and they bring the two guys in like that. They really have, one of them is just there for the redheaded lady to like. Like, that's the only point of him. Like, he's like a younger Jim.
Oh, the frumpy guy?
No, they brought in a frumpy guy and then like a handsome guy. He takes his shirt off in an episode. Like, it's a whole thing.
Plop. Yeah.
Yeah. plop. Yeah.
You know what happened that season? Because it happened.
They made Andy incredibly unlikable too,
and then just sent him off.
Yeah.
As the new son of this orbit, the universe, in the office, as the new manager, they're like, "Yeah, goodbye. We don't need you." All the characters became caricatures of themselves. Like you felt like those actors. I need to play the person that I just watched myself, like watching myself play over and over again. You just do bigger and louder. And
but sometimes that's when sitcoms hit, is when the actors are comfortable enough to really play it up. Like Seinfeld's first season, Hardy and I agree on this. You throw it away.
Yeah.
But the second season, they're becoming like super, like mega themselves. Always Sunny's kind of like that too. Like the more comfortable they get with how outrageous the characters are, that can lead to more fun. But I think the problem with The Office is, like you said, the son. First of all, they put people on the cast that weren't great, and second of all, they made Andy so unlikable, and he was Michael Scott was always likable. You were kind of rooting for him in a way, but Andy you just hated.
They did stick the landing, though. I think I liked that finale.
Oh no, the finale was. I mean, it was a little obvious, but yeah, it was. I mean, there was a marriage.
Did you expect a mystery at the end, like a murder to be solved?
No, but I think that
it's all a dream.
I think that Newhart was a fantastic ending.
Oh,
I mean,
just blow up the entire series.
Yeah, it's like you can go either way. Like you can go Roseanne, where she's writing a letter, and it turns out the whole lottery winning thing was just her writing a book,
right?
Which was devastating to the nation because everyone was glued in. Yeah, sorry if you're just now watching CMT and trying to get through the whole Roseanne canon at one point. That was a show I never thought was funny.
What are the sitcoms on CNT? Is it Roseanne and Reba? Are they just on a loop?
Reba is on a loop.
No, it's not. You ignorant a-hole.
I see it every day in the
King
house.
of Queens.
All right.
Oh.
And then it's King of the Hill.
Okay, that track.
But I don't get it anymore, and neither do you. If you've gone to, because sometimes I'll go, King of the Hill's on. I'll put it on in the background, and it says you need a subscription. I'm like, oh, do I? I'll go right out and get it. Like, I want to. Can I please watch reruns of the King of Queens? I don't know how else to get my hands on them. Like, but I do miss Seinfeld being on Comedy Central a great deal. In fact, I was in my ex. I got to be at my ex-wife's. I was like taking care of the dog, and there was an episode I had taped on her YouTube TV of Seinfeld on Comedy Central, and I put it on, and I found it to be very comforting because I need the ads. There's no ads. I don't want to watch Seinfeld. I need that. I don't want to know. I want it to be dealer's choice episode. I don't want to pick the episode.
Plus, I like the break, and I think the show is paced in a way that you're supposed to have a couple minutes away from it, and then you come back and reset.
I agree. As background noise, I want the commercials.
You like a break, huh?
I do.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Pan to black.
Oh, you were saying we need to break.
Look at
Well,
that.
I didn't say anything.
Adam 12.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't even know you were doing that. And so now I'm annoyed. All right. We'll be back. Andrew Callahan, we got him for an hour.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
All right, gentlemen, this summer, if you, we're working hard.
back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
I don't think we're ready to have that conversation yet. Made every kick in the fourth quarter. He's made meaningful kicks. Where I'm at, wouldn't have gone out there with Andy. It wasn't like I debated long. And he knows he has a job to do, and we have full confidence in him to do his job.
I reminisce. Yeah. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child from the
Tom Scott sample. Tom Scott from the Blues Brothers Band.
How's that jazz book coming along? Start listening to
It's
it yet?
sitting on my coffee table. I've
is it a hard cover?
No,
of the book?
it's a soft. I have a How to Enjoy Jazz book, which tells you how good jazz is when you have to have a book. I'm about halfway through, and I do listen when the guy suggests to listen to songs. I will listen to the songs.
Love it.
But it's nothing I don't think I knew.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of like Bitches Brew and
No,
Giant
but
Steps and all that stuff.
Well, he's like Duke Ellington and stuff right now.
Good.
Like
Yeah,
he's
important too.
very old.
Yeah.
But the way he says to enjoy the music is nothing like no one could figure out. It's just like tone, and you're like, yeah, I understand the tone of the instrument. It's not beyond the listener. I would imagine if you're listening to music, you realize that there is a certain sound to it. But I do have a book. I went to Borders in outside of Newport. I get very excited when there's a big bookstore because they don't exist anymore, and so I go around and I buy like 11 books and then I don't read them.
They sit on your nightstand.
Yeah.
I feel that so deeply.
Yeah, if you went into my house, there's like people visit my house for the first time. I'm talking about ladies.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. But when people come to my house for the first time, there's books like everywhere. I don't even really intend it that way. It's just when I moved in, I kind of just stacked them like wherever. I had like boxes of them. I don't know why I keep them. Like Seinfeld says, they're like trophies, I guess, of accomplishments of having read them. I give them to Adam sometimes on the account he's down on his luck.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, and he gives me books that are terrible, and I don't ever read them. One of them sitting in my living room right now. It's about some guy that goes to hunt for the original records or whatever nonsense.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one, yeah.
But I go and I get too many, and then they go unread, and that's the way life is. It's a bunch of unread books. Will I have the time one day, I suppose? A place and time. I want to see a storyline that's happy in the end. Things are certainly uncertain.
I'm getting to the point in my life where if I start a book and I don't like it, I feel no need to push on through and find the good in it, especially if it's been recommended to me. Like if I'm 2 chapters in, I'm like, nope, don't care for it, done. Toss it aside.
My wife and mom feel compelled to finish every single book.
That's my wife.
And sometimes it's like, this one sucks. I'm like, throw it away.
Yeah.
If you bit into a bad apple,
I
you're
threw
not
away the
finish
Reacher book. I threw it away.
Which one?
The first one, because you gotta go from the beginning if you're gonna do it. But
you should have burned it.
The sex scenes are embarrassing.
Yeah, Lee Child is not good at
No,
writing
Lee
sex
Child
scenes.
was a virgin when
Not
he wrote
good.
Reacher.
No.
I have
Great at writing action, terrible.
I
at
have
sex
every
scenes.
belief in my being that he was a virgin. I
Well,
was
now
like, I'm like reading the scribblings of a complete virginal nerd.
Yeah.
I can't have this.
Well, now I'm curious how bad that is.
It's obviously
sample?
people love it. The New York Times said it's like the New York Times book review likes the Reacher books. Like they're not fluffy crap. They're supposed to be good.
They are.
And I just
They are.
but that's one of your passions along with shrimp scampi making.
Right. Yes.
Is reading those books.
Yes. But if you watch the Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movie, there's no sex scene in it at all.
Yeah, which is wise.
There's a reason for that.
Which
yes.
is wise. All right, we have Andrew Callahan here from the Boston Herald, and Andrew, let's get into Drake Maye, who is the 18th best quarterback in the league according to Jeff Howe, or did I say 16th? One of those two.
18.
And what did you make of his performance on Sunday?
Loved it, start to finish. And I'll come back to this, but I thought Josh McDaniels did a much better job of supporting him as well as the rest of the offense. But within his performance, he threw an accurate ball about 84% of the time. He was great within the pocket, moving up, avoiding pressure, bailed when he needed to, not always when he wanted to. And there was just something about the calm and control that was missing from the season opener, in addition to a couple earlier games, that just really helped set the tone. So I love this from him. Diagnosed blitz pressure very well. Alerted to certain plays. That long pass to Ramondre Stevenson, you watched him tap his helmet, alert. It says, we got man coverage. This is where I'm going to go. Avoided the pressure, stepped up in the pocket, eyes downfield. This was the best we've seen from Drake Maye. I don't think there's any question.
You mentioned Josh McDaniels supporting him. I was reading, I forget where I saw this stat, that he used more motion pre-snap this week, and that helped him out a great deal. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I retweeted that because as I'm watching the game, you're watching all these outside zone runs where you just see the offensive line go one direction, there's a handoff, and the running back has to find a hole. And then they would do the same, except Drake Maye would keep it and bootleg the opposite side, and they're under center a whole lot more. I'm like, this is like Josh McShanahan. Like this offense looks totally different from the opener. It looks old school Shanahan offense. And the other component of that, in addition to under center and the bootleg passes and the outside zone runs, is all that motion, which doubled from week one. Yeah. So they doubled their under center usage, more motion. I think people confuse motion, just like activity, with productivity. It's not always good. You see, like the Bears, for example, Ben Johnson, a lot of false starts and illegal shifts because he's doing all this crazy stuff that he brought from Detroit. It needs to have a purpose, and you need to be able to do it. But here, clearly, the motion helped Drake Maye in this start.
I think it certainly helped them because if they were watching film from week one, they weren't going to be expecting anything.
Yeah.
So, and maybe if they did, they're like, same thing like you said with Ben Johnson in Chicago. All right, if they do try any of it, they're not going to be able to execute it the right way, and they'll end up committing false start penalties, and they'll end up doing everything. But I was impressed, too. It did look different. It looked not too complicated for Drake, which has been a concern, too. Like, how much is he going to be able to handle? He seems to be handling everything.
He does, and I was not in the camp that there was too much on his plate, but there was an element of you watched his game against the Raiders, and you're like, there's just something, he's either a little sped up or he's thinking a little bit too much. I think the game plan was mostly about, hey, this is an undisciplined Dolphins defense that they just barely are keeping together with Scotch tape, with signing Jack Jones and Rasul Douglas and trading for Minka Fitzpatrick late. Let's give them very basic tests, the play-action bootlegs, the motion, and see how they screw it up. And there was also some smaller details, right? Mac Hollins, you notice the first couple of snaps, comes from out wide, and they kind of insert him as a blocker on these run plays. Fast forward, you look to Drake Maye's first touchdown. You talk about simple reads, right? When you're bootlegging, you only have something short or long, or sometimes it's a three-level concept. Mac Hollins does the same thing as he did earlier in that opening drive, comes in, starts slowly like he's going to block, but it's a play-action fake. So then he speeds out and runs a route. And so they were setting up Miami from a macro standpoint with these plays, in addition to the smaller details. And I think once you just get that opening touchdown, the confidence kind of feeds itself. And in each of those plays, it's a simple read for Drake Maye. So it really, we were talking about attacking Miami or helping your own quarterback. It hit all of the notes.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about the rookie left side of the offensive line, by all accounts, they did very well, and that's very important for the blind side of this kid also.
Huge. No pressures allowed for Will Campbell, 0 for Jared Wilson, 0 for Garrett Bradbury, for that matter, who we forget was like getting roasted, and rightfully so. I'm writing this being like, man, this dude just lines up to get his ass kicked in one-on-one pass rush. He's had 0 pressures allowed. So that's a big piece of this. But Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, we know, both had penalties, whatever. It was just, they can win a lot of games, the Patriots can, if they're 2 rookie offensive linemen, and they might need a third Sunday, play like they did in Miami. Because at least Will Campbell faced a lot of good edge rushers, and he held his own. Again, 0 pressures allowed.
You say that they're going to need another rookie on Sunday?
They might. Morgan Moses, according to my guy Doug Hyde, saw him, Moses walking out of the locker room in a boot. And I remember watching, I think it was early fourth quarter, he's kind of limping off at the end of this long drive, clearly pushing through something. And, and talking to Mike Jarrett on my podcast last night, he had said he heard from folks with the Jets who, know he missed, 4 games last year. But there were instances where Moses played through injury, and they felt like the Jets did. It cost them because he wasn't as effective. And if you're the Patriots, you go, hey, you're 34. You're in a boot maybe this week. And I don't know this for a fact yet. Just take this week off. And then Marcus Bryant would be the third rookie to come in and replace him at right tackle.
Yeah, he played, the book on him was he played hurt last year, and he plays through injuries, which was a positive. And I didn't see it framed as a negative. That's interesting. But there's no way he's staying healthy this year. There's just no way.
Well, you were on that from the second were on that from the second they signed him.
Yeah, I mean, just you signed him to not play. I mean, he's going to sporadically be here and there, but he's 34. I mean, he's been hurt for years. Like, it's not going to get better. He wasn't going to get better. And then when you saw in the preseason that, like, he'd need to, like, sit. I don't blame him. He's been in collisions for the last, 20 years of his life, like, constantly. Like, he's not – he can't play in the NFL on a regular basis. That was my belief from the very beginning when they signed him. And he's a great locker room guy, great tough guy, everything about it, but he just isn't going to play. But you were impressed with the offensive line. You think that's sustainable?
No, not in terms of the total pressures allowed. And it's funny because, I had Mike Onwenu for one hurry allowed. Morgan Moses only had the one pressure, and that was on the play that Drake hit Ramondre for that big long pass. That's not going to happen again, where you just have only 2 pressures allowed by the offensive lineman. Some of the other ones were more scheme-related or missed some assignments. But you have to be encouraged because the way that Jared Wilson was allowing 4 or 5 pressures in the opener and Will Campbell's having multiple penalties, you're like, man, I know it's week 1, and I know they're rookies, but if this is the life, the world they have to live in, Patriots aren't going anywhere. Then you watch week 2, as we often do in September, and be like, oh, that's not what I last saw. This is new. This is different. This is good. But who knows? I mean, this is, again, asking people in their early 20s to be consistent, and that's the last thing those guys are, let alone a football field.
Yeah, and when you play the Steelers, they've been surprisingly weak defensively this year so far.
You can run on them. You really can.
Yeah, I mean, successfully run against a lot over the last couple of weeks. Yes, John, one final question before we break.
Where does T.J. Watt line up, left side or right side?
They'll move him around.
But he was on the left side against the Jets most of the time.
Yeah, so the defensive left and saw Armand Membu, their rookie from Missouri. Marcus Bryant played with Membu, and Membu shut him out. So I don't know who that says more about, or it's just one game and variance, but you don't fear T.J. Watt, I'll say in 2025, the way you did 3 years ago.
Well, he's incredible on the backside, but what their strategy was is sometimes they wouldn't block him and they'd run at him. So, for instance, they would do like a bootleg and Fields would run at Watt and they wouldn't block him. So Watt would kind of be like frozen, and then Fields is faster than Watt, obviously, and would get by him like around the edge. Like Watt wasn't setting the edge. It was I'm a big dork with all these that stupid crap. But it was interesting but they wouldn't if they were running to the other side. You couldn't leave him unattended because he's so good at the backside. Like if you run left, you got to block him because he's so good off the backside. He'll get you in the backfield. So he was very disruptive, but just as a unit, they were not incredibly good.
T.J. Watt famously good on the backside.
That's right. Famously good on the backside. He's very quick. I'm not lying. He blow things up in the backfield.
He was trying to get me to say it. He was giving me like a little smile and is staring me down.
I don't get his immaturity.
He said it a couple times. I liked film Fred. This was fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's teasing me. He doesn't think I'm being accurate.
So
I think you're exactly accurate. I mean, people will call it pursuit, but I just like the phrasing. And it of course, tickled the teenager that still lives somewhere over here.
So if he's playing over on the left side, we will not expect a rerun of week 1 where they just ran the ball to the left almost exclusively.
Right, away from Max Crosby? Yeah, they'll move him around a little bit. But look, if he's also playing on that defensive left, so he's opposite the right tackle, and the Patriots, as I just suggested, have to start Marcus Bryant. And I don't know this for a fact. The 7th-round rookie, they'll probably be like, you know what? Screw the first-round kid who everyone's been picking on, Will Campbell, who posted a shutout pass protection. We'll just keep him over here and let you go to town against this new kid.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. And you get Aaron Rodgers in your building.
Yeah.
Maybe for the last time. Oh, how heartbreaking. How bittersweet the game will be.
Is anybody here going to the game?
My son is. Oh, nice. He's thrilled. No, he don't want to go. But he
root for Aaron Rodgers. He's a Jets fan.
He can't win,
right?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, you want to see destroyed, but then the evil Patriots are hosting them, so there's no winning.
Right.
He goes to the game and he hates both sides. He's learning to be a toucher. This is an exercise in being a toucher.
Yeah,
just pure hatred of everything that you're looking at. It's a kid's birthday, so I hope the kid's listening. All right, look, we'll be back in just a moment with 2 stats and a lie.
He's not.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots will play Pittsburgh Sunday at Gillette Stadium. The news on Christian Gonzalez seems good. According to head coach Mike Vrabel yesterday, there's a chance he could return to the field this week. 2 Monday night games last night. The Chargers won in Las Vegas 20-9. Tampa Bay got a late touchdown to win in Houston 20-19. Red Sox had last night off. They face the Athletics tonight at Fenway Park. After one season in Pittsburgh, former Bruins defenseman Matt Grzelcyk is reportedly on the verge of signing a personal tryout deal with Chicago. And the New England Revolution yesterday fired manager Caleb Porter. The team has 4 matches left. They visit the Philadelphia Union on Saturday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMoore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University, where MBA and master's degree students build vital business skills through experience. Connect with Northeastern at northeastern.edu/business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Which brings me, though, to my two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
Okay, we're not going to make John wear oven mitts, I take it again. But Nick, have a camera fastened.
I have
directly onto
keyboard
John's
is
keyboard.
there, the mouse is there, the phone is there.
Because
I have nothing but my script up here.
We made a video that did not include a falcon flying onto John's arm, which I'm very disappointed in Nick, and he hurried it up there. Sometimes it's not about timing, it's about content. But we put a video up, and then it got me thinking, I'm like, I can't believe John went to the internet during this.
No, actually,
to look things up.
It was my script that I looked at where I was describing who the captains were. That wasn't the internet. It was my script in front of me.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
regardless.
but anyway,
it
all I
was
have-
cheating.
All I have here in front of me to write down the
I
questions.
will let you, because I didn't write it down last week out of, I was actually standing with John in a way. But then I got all lost with what was going on. So I'm 0-2. You guys
camera
are
is
1-1.
set, by the way. You're ready to go.
Huh?
The camera is set.
All right, thank you.
All
right. Okay, so now, am I mistaken to think that there might be something Nick's been working on? Are we doing that or no?
Oh, we're doing it right now.
Two stats, but only one lie. Andrew Callahan is here with 2 stats and 1 lie.
Really good.
Not a brilliant rhyme scheme.
Really solid.
No, not good lyrics. He's just pretty factual with that whole thing.
Let's get to the real one.
Let's do this.
It takes 2 stats from the other 9. And 1 lie, see if you can get it right. It takes 2 stats from the other 9. And 1 lie, see if you can get it right.
Oh, I just finally understood what he was saying. In Adolfo fashion, sometimes, like even though it's scripted, I don't understand what he's saying.
One lie, see if you can get it right.
Yeah, one lie, see if you can get it right.
Yeah.
I just finally, for the first time in a year, understood what he was saying.
I'm surprised that his enunciation wasn't clear enough for the first 30 times.
His enunciation isn't good enough to call or estrange.
All right, let's get to 2 stats and 1 lie. Now, the twist is, for some inexplicable reason, they could all be lies.
Well, and that's happened once. It can only happen 2 more times. I'm thinking this is my first guess is that this will not be an all lie week.
I'm guessing that as well. I'm banking on that, Hardy. I'm with you.
And the other piece of that is if you catch me telling 3 lies, you get 3 points. So that's a way to keep the standings live towards the end of the season.
All right.
No.
And this will run through. So 2 more of those weeks to the end of the regular season. We have a theme this week. We'll see if you can pick up on the theme. Might be as obvious as the lyrics to that new rhyming scheme. Number 1. Despite hitting 20 miles an hour on his kick return touchdown at Miami, Antonio Gibson ran slower than a dairy cow can.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Number 1. Despite hitting 20 miles an hour on his kick return touchdown at Miami, Antonio Gibson still ran slower than a dairy cow can.
Okay. I got it. You guys got it?
I got it.
Right, let's move on.
Number 2. Drake Maye's 55-yard pass Sunday was the longest of his career, but it was not longer than the longest blue whale recorded in history.
I don't get what the similarity is. 55 yards, so the blue whale would have to be longer than 55 yards.
Drake Maye's 55-yard pass, this is number 2. Drake Maye's 55-yard pass Sunday was the longest of his career, but it was not longer than the longest blue whale recorded in history.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Number 3. Robert Spillane, who at 6'1" and 229 pounds, is roughly the size of an adult female ostrich, has missed more tackles than he's made this season.
Jesus.
Robert Spillane, who is 6'1".
Hold on. I'm going to ask you, please.
Yeah.
Skip the ostrich part this time
No,
because I've already determined it has nothing to do with the truth or the lie.
Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do
No,
with
he
the
just
lie.
jammed that in to make sure the theme was correct.
Did Spillane missed more tackles than he has this year? That he's made?
Just for the folks on the other end.
Okay.
All right.
Robert Spillane, who is 6'1" and 229 pounds, is roughly the size of an adult female ostrich, has missed more tackles than he's made this season.
Okay, I'll go first because I'm just going to do the obvious thing. I think he probably Googled miles per hour and animals and length. There's no way a dairy cow can't run fast. If it's off by a mile per hour, I'm going to be very annoyed.
Yeah, and because even though you can't see it when they say things like alligators can run 30 miles an hour, so sure, a dairy cow can run fast.
And there's no way to quantify it, right? Like there's no when it's football once you can kind of go through your mental database. This is I'm just guessing a cow runs fast. I don't feel like a lot of responsibility to get this one right because you're just guessing at two of them. I'm guessing whales are big.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to guess Spillane has more tackles than he's missed. It's obvious, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's the only thing that I would think sounds weird is the missed tackle thing, so I'll do that.
Yeah, the blue whale length, 165 feet. Is that what that would work out to for a 55-yard?
55 times 3, so yes.
Yeah.
That seems too big, but I'm going to say that's also true. Not more than the blue whales. So there's some blue whale that's been recorded being at least that long. And I'm with you, Fred. I will go the lie is Spillane, but not because it's one or the other. I'm saying it's the same. I'm saying he's missed as many tackles as he's made.
He hasn't made a lot of tackles.
That's the wrinkle. So it is a lie because it's not more, it's the same.
Yeah, and Antonio Gibson, the dairy cow. That's
The
to
dairy
bait
cow.
you in.
They can
That's
cook.
too
They're-
obvious,
they-
yeah.
If you've ever,
cook?
That's true.
Okay,
The first
let 'em
one's
cook.
true.
They can
The
cook,
first
but only
one's
be
true.
grilled.
Okay.
And if it's a mile an hour off, then what am I going to tell you?
Right.
But those things can move. Ask a cowboy. That's what my dad did in Montana. Is he caught those cows? They need a guy on a horse going fast to catch them. They go fast.
Was the cow clocked after milking?
This was at the cow combine. So
Before or after they were milked?
After they were milked.
Okay,
Yeah, you're trying to shed weight.
Yeah, then I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm not moving. John.
Yes, the dairy cow one looks too obvious. That's not a lie. The whale is too big. I agree with you guys. 3 is the lie.
So we're all.
Is anyone surprised how big a female ostrich is? 6'1", 229. That's right down the middle.
Real said, thank God that wasn't the question because John would have an advantage being a bird.
Well, nobody has the advantage this week.
Oh, no.
You guys are 0 for 3.
Oh, no.
Blue whales only get to 100 feet. They do not get to 165. And Robert Spillane has made 6 tackles this year. He has missed 8.
Well, that's just an interesting fact. I like that fact.
And dairy cows.
And that's the whole thing with him. He's supposed to be like the Milano of the group. He's supposed to be like the white steadying influence of the defense. And like Milano, he's not the best, but he's in on a lot of tackles,
He's gritty. He's gutty.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why they got Spillane, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what he's
a
supposed
captain.
to do.
He's
yeah.
a captain, not the most talented guy, but a leader.
Like his job is not to miss tackles. Like that's like literally his job. He's not going to dazzle you with his athleticism, but he's supposed to tackle. So that is interesting.
He's better in coverage than most of the Patriots' recent inside linebackers, which granted is not a high bar. But he's being paid a lot of money. He's a captain. I think he'll be better. But for now, their inside linebackers have been as bad as any position on the team.
I bet you Vrabel's all over his ass,
6 tackles, 8 misses.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great stat.
Maybe they should have an ostrich.
But what are we going to do, gentlemen? What do we know about the length of blue whales?
Short whale. Yeah, that one sucks.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 lie. But he's got 1 lie. Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats. But he's got 1 lie. But he's got 1 lie.
At least I feel good about being so confident about the dairy cow.
25 miles an hour for those bad boys and girls.
Well, I mean, the Cowboys got to catch them. Like, they got to, like, when they get loose, you got to catch them.
Who runs faster, a bear or a dairy cow?
Bear. Well, grizzly bears get up to 35 miles an hour.
Okay.
Learned a lot last night when I couldn't sleep.
If you get my dad going about his time at the ranch in Montana, he'll give you some. And he gets. Forget I could go on for. He gets so pissed. Like, what did you ride? Well, I rode in like the horses where they try to buck you off. And I'm like, you know how they get the horses go, the bulls going miles? They pull a rope off their balls, and that's like how they get them going. And my dad's like, well, it's not on their balls. And I'm like, what's it on? He's like, well, they have something that's like balls. And I'm like, Dad, Jesus Christ. Does the rope touch the balls or does it not touch the balls? Like, it's the balls. Like, but it's not technically what they tie it to.
I know. My father, who's in his upper 80s, does the same thing. He'll focus
my dad
on
did
one
it when he was
part of the
35.
argument. Oh, well.
Yeah, my dad did it when he was 35.
Yeah, one part of the argument that is a little off, and he'll focus on that and drive it home.
Like it's not technically tied around the balls. It's tied like next to the balls so the rope rips against them.
That's on the scrotal sac right above where the testicles
No, I didn't kick you in the balls. I just kicked you close by. Why are you bending over?
Were you there? Or it sounds like Hardy was there. They have a piece that's not their balls, but it's like their balls. What, their penis?
And not balls?
I don't know. It's just like, and it's just like, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. All right,
Flapping
thank you,
around
Andrew.
at 25 miles an hour.
There you go. Andrew, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Read them in the Herald. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Get the most for your trade at Bernardi.
Sox last night, so the Sox are currently second in the wild card race in the American League. They're a game behind the Yankees for first, but only a half a game ahead of Houston. And the New England Revolution have fired manager Caleb Porter. They have 4 matches left in their season. They visit the Philadelphia Union on Saturday night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on a new Ford? Go to the Best first. Best Ford in Nashua. Head to bestford.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Pasternak, and he scores! What a blast by Pasternak!
The Bruins play here.
Why do people listen to Touch Your
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Apparently, this is going to be a lot of use to people. There's breaking news. Market Basket taps CFO as interim CEO.
Oh.
The chief financial officer has now taken over as CEO.
Demoulasses. That's what, the OGs call it. They don't even call it Market Basket.
Hardy and I, expressed our ignorance to the fascination with Market Basket, and then it became class warfare at some point. Everyone got very upset at us.
There is actual breaking entertainment news. Robert Redford has passed away.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. 89 years old.
Yeah, it's getting to be like the people that were like the adults when we were kids are dying.
It's true.
He was the hunk, though, for a while. I remember my mom talking about Robert Redford.
That's why in Decent Proposal, they cast him because, you wanted an older guy, but if you had, some Belichick creep offered $1 million, you'd be like, you'd be like, this is you'd hate Demi Moore. But you get, an older, handsome guy, which is my whole point about it. Like a sophistication and, a handsome, an ingrained, wise, sophisticated confidence that an older man can somehow give off. I could see a woman of a younger age finding that attractive, not some blob, old, gross guy.
Let me ask you something about Bob Redford. Did you think it was strange that another Bobby Duvall, did not recognize him when he showed up to play for the Knights after he had been on that train and he was integral in the bet against the Whammer? The 3-pitch ball. Yeah, I mean, he was out there. He was playing umpire. He did a cartoon of it afterward. I mean, this was like a big deal. And I can't imagine this happened all the time when they were going on the train places. You would have thought Robert Duvall would have recognized Roy Hobbs when he showed up playing for the Knights years later.
Well, it was 15, 16 years later?
I think it was 15 years, yeah.
You
give him a pass?
Yeah, I kind of do. If you're one of those egotistical sports writers and you cover stories left and right,
and he wasn't pitching.
Yeah,
he was
he was a right fielder at that point.
Well, he had to go in there for Bump Bailey after he died.
That's right, crashing to a wall. But
spoiler alert.
If you remember, the thing that jogged Duvall's memory is when Hobbs came in from right field and threw that one batting practice pitch.
Oh yeah.
So pitching, yes.
You guys watch The Natural a lot, is what you're saying.
Sure.
Yes, I understand the character's name in the plot of the film. I've only seen it once.
Oh, you're missing out.
No, I don't think so.
That young scamp bat boy. Well, also, you think
Savoy.
Yeah,
Savoy Special.
What baseball movie have you seen the most times in your life? Because mine's easy.
Major League.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Either Major League or Sandlot.
Sandlot. I mean, I've seen The Sandlot because both my kids liked it.
Both my kids loved it.
I've seen The Sandlot maybe 7 times.
Yeah, Major League is.
And I would call those legit baseball movies.
And Sandlot's a baseball movie.
Yeah.
Major League, I've seen parts of many, many times because it's just on. But Major League's a crappy movie. I mean, it's like it's poorly acted. It's not a good story. Like it's the character of who plays the catcher. What's his name?
Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger. You had to give me the character name too.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Berenger his character sucks.
Why?
Like when they're giving the guy, which is. I don't know if I like the voodoo aspect of this whole thing, but when they give him, he needs a live chicken to sacrifice.
Dennis Haysbert.
He goes, I'll think of something. Like, will you?
Yeah.
Shut up.
He got Kentucky
and then he
Fried
gives
Chicken.
him Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I'm thinking, I don't know.
One
about
whole
this.
chicken, just like you said.
Well, no, but they're handing,
If Willie Mays Hayes wasn't offended by it, why are you offended by it?
Because I'm a gatekeeper. I like to put myself in people's shoes and gatekeep. No, that's not why I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I'm just saying that. The part I didn't like is when he goes like, "I'll think of something." It always rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that when I was a kid.
Field of Dreams, not a baseball movie.
No, Field of Dreams is not a good movie.
Mystical crap, which for all the anti-establishment and anti-commercialism, don't sell the farm. At the very end, James Earl Jones in the middle of that speech is like, "Oh, people will come, Ray. They'll show up for miles and they don't even know why. Yes, have a look around. It's just $20. Like, oh, you're just trying to make money off this place now. Oh, okay. It kind of sucks all the spirituality out of it at the end.
I watched it to get sad, to make myself sad. I wanted it to move me. I really was trying. And I was found myself bored and not caring.
Had a catch with his dad.
Oh, well,
at the end.
Here's the other thing that pisses me off about Field of Dreams. After they pick up Moonlight Graham, the hitchhiker, the young version, he's sleeping in the back. So Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones are driving, and Costner says, it's weird how he described going from town to town. Those things haven't existed for years. Have you not picked up on the fact that this is another one of your mystical jackasses here? He's a ghost. Did you not realize that when he said his name was Archie Graham and you just left the place where you just talked to another ghost?
Yeah.
What's this kid doing in the back of the van? I don't think they even have baseball teams like that anymore. You dummy.
Didn't they make the guy from 30-something almost cartoonishly villainous? The
Busfeld.
He won't give him he won't give him blood or something.
Right?
Timothy Busfeld.
Yeah.
Yes. He knows him from Revenge of the Nerds.
Poindexter.
Which was a documentary.
He knows
John is a big fan of installing
They
cameras.
won at the end, damn it. Don't
I know
forget.
what John knows him from 30-something. I guarantee you watched 30-something.
No, I never watched 30-something.
Yes, you did.
Never.
Yes, you did.
Nope.
Because you were 30-something when it was on.
Hello.
Never watched it.
All right. Speaking of baseball, I'll do this one first. Rosenthal is a very small man, and he was covering a Brewers game. And this video went viral of him backing up. He hits a cameraman and knocks him over because someone's dumping water on the head of a Brewers player. And when he knocks the guy over, he walks up a little bit. He looks down and sees he knocks the guy over, and he shakes his head as if how dare you be in my presence. He comes off looking like a huge dick. He just does. But I thought he handled it in a very good way. He got on whatever the hell he's on. And he's got a microphone in a study. So he's a person who's breathing in a non-impoverished country. Because everyone now by a bookshelf, has got a microphone to which they can speak to the world. And all their voices need to be heard. And here is Rosenthal explaining what happened.
I want to talk about what happened Saturday night when I accidentally bowled over Scott Boras.
Notice he says bowled over because he's not a lot of experience knocking people over.
When I trucked that guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's feeling a little good about himself. I mean, he's tiny nerd. He's he's pretty proud of himself. But I thought he did a good job here. Here we go.
Paulus, the Brewers team photographer, while I was getting out of the way of the Brewers dumping water on Andrew Monasterio. Now, the ever-observant A.J. Przinsky joked afterward that I looked like Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston.
You see, he does like it. He's like, I did, didn't I? Like the way that guy was crouched down and I backed into him. He fell like a house of cards. I knocked that guy down. He is pretty proud of himself. There's a lot of Napoleon complex coming out of this man all over the place.
Now, AJ, of course, is more experienced in these kinds of interactions than I am.
Yeah, he's a dick.
And I must admit, though, when I looked at the video, when I saw this, I was surprised at how upset I appeared. I was more confused than anything. Now, I had to continue the interview. We were live, folks, on national television. Couldn't stop. And that said, I felt awful about what happened. And afterward, I went up to Scott, who I've worked with in Pitts before over the years, and I apologized. And I apologized profusely because, let's face it, I don't think that you ever expect knocking someone down is going to happen in any particular situation.
All right, so he went and apologized to the guy. So I thought Rosenthal handled that well. Brian Kelly is the a-hole-ish coach. There's Rosenthal, I don't think is an a-hole, but Brian Kelly certainly is.
Now, you remember when Kelly, who was the head coach at Notre Dame, went to LSU, he adopted a Southern accent at his very first press
Cajun
conference.
accent.
Yes.
A Cajun, much like the white reggae singer from Nebraska.
Started speaking in tongues the second he got the job.
Yeah, he embarrassingly developed a Bayou accent, which was infuriating. But like Madonna, when she was with Guy Ritchie, she starts talking British. It's very affected and annoying. But here is Brian Kelly before he apologized. Here's him yelling at the media.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from the wrong perspective. LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled. This team is 17-1 at night. 17-1. Give them some respect. How about that? Give them some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
Well, let's be honest, they're Baton Rouge Hicks. I mean, they're not seasoned reporters. As meltdowns go, I didn't find that to be that upsetting. He's being asked dumb questions after a win. I could see getting annoyed.
What's dumb about the question?
He's like, what's the problem? Like, I think it's the phrasing. It's like you're coming off a win, and they're going, what's the problem with? Like, the first thing out of the guy's mouth is, what's the problem?
Okay, so first of all, the opposition threw, 5 interceptions? And 13 of their 20 points were essentially... You could credit as much to the defense or the poor
What
play.
game is this off?
LSU, Florida.
Florida.
They beat Florida.
Okay, so they beat Florida, but it was not a good offensive night. They had great field position. They were scoring points off of turnovers. So there were legitimate questions to be had. The thing that bothers me is like, what, are we going to dissect every little thing? Yes, because this is what pays you your exorbitant salary. The fact that people do examine every little part of these games. Did you see the last play? Oh, what? How about this, Brian? How about we only talk about the final play of every game, or better yet, we just regroup at the end of the season and we just talk about it then. You know, these guys don't want to answer any of the questions. They don't want to participate in this whole circus. They're more than happy to reap the benefits of it and make the millions of dollars for coaching the teams. They just don't want the attention when it comes to having to stand up there for 5 minutes after a game and answer some questions. You may not like the questions. You may not want to dig into it, but you know they're going to do the exact same thing. They themselves will go pour over every inch of film from that game and prepare for the next game. So he acts like it's so out of line. That's what you do. And also, all this attention is what makes you a wealthy man. So either get over it or just shut up and say, I don't know.
Well, listen, the people are with Hardy because Brian Kelly came out and apologized.
Forced to apologize.
Here is the apology. Now, John and I were willing to let him go. We see both sides of this. Hardy is strongly in the camp of the reporters. But after Belichick, everything... I mean, Belichick was downright, mocking.
Yeah.
Like a total dick. Like I saw Brian Kelly's
other college coaches. Like who was the guy who lost his crap?
Here's what I don't understand, because there was no point in that if I was the reporter where I would have done this, but there is a point where I don't know how you don't just go, why are you talking to me like this? Like seriously, say F, you know what? F you. Who are you to talk to me like this? Like there were times in Belichick's press conferences, and I don't know how you could fire a guy for that. If someone's berating you, like in treating you in a way that is completely not how a man should treat another human being, and you, like another adult, they're treating you like a child that they're admonishing, and crappy parenting too. I don't know why you can't go like, wait a second, like don't talk to me like that. And if they go, I'll talk to you however I want, go, no, you won't. F you, mother effer. And like, no, I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I'm smiling and laughing, thinking about how about 5 or 6 guys that have covered the Patriots for 20 years that would totally be justified in doing that.
But there's like, like Reese, like he was like one time, like he's like in your little notebook. I go, like, F you, don't talk to me like that. And nothing more than don't talk to me like that. Like you're not allowed to talk to me like that. You're talking to me like I'm an a-hole. I didn't come here in a combative fashion. Like if Belichick saw me now, if I was him, I would hate me. That makes sense. But if I, like Hardy said, if I'm covering the team and I come in there and I ask you a question about a game and you start like attacking me as a person, that's no room for that. And I wouldn't take it. I'd rather get my ass kicked than take that from someone. I really would. I don't like that. I always wonder, like, how they stop themselves from just going, whoa, 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 whoa. No. Because I'll take a lot, but there's a point where you got to push back a little bit. But anyway, here's Brian Kelly.
Before I get to the game in Southeast Louisiana, I want to go back to the press conference after the game. I've texted with Mike and offered my apology to him for the way I handled the questioning. I think it's important to understand that, my standards relative to how we work with the media on a day-to-day basis need to be higher. And I take responsibility for that, and I'll be better in the future.
Wow, someone from LSU got to him. If you're at North Carolina, you can have your girlfriend hold the door for the players at halftime. You can do whatever you want. You can have all the email. North Carolina's anarchy, man. At LSU, if you're mean to the media, they make you apologize.
What are the odds?
North Carolina, you can do whatever you want.
You would think it would be the opposite, all things considered. If you just took a look at the two schools.
The more
exactly, like one's a circus and one's a good school and one's a garbage school. Yes, you would think that the standards would be completely reversed. You're absolutely right.
Look, I wasn't calling for his apology or anything else, and the fact that he did, that's nice. But his reaction is so out of line. You're supposed to be the third-ranked team in the country, playing an unranked team. And what was the original question about? Was it about running the ball?
Running the ball.
Yeah, okay. So you take away the 51-yard run from Caden Durham. They ran the ball 21 times as a team for 51 yards.
Right.
Okay? And also, Florida threw 5 interceptions in that game. You scored 1 offensive touchdown. You couldn't run the ball, and the guy has the audacity to go up there and ask about it. Yeah, you sure do.
Kelly's obviously pissed that was the first question out of the block. He needed to be warmed up a little bit. Oh, it's a nice win, but you have some work to do. It's one of those. Matt, the sports guy, who's the guy who say, Bobby Valentine. There are a lot of media. What do you think? That's what Kelly was hoping for. He was hoping for a warm-up question.
I would say, in fairness to Brian Kelly, we didn't hear his preamble, like whatever he said ahead of time.
Sports talk, Matt. That's what I'm
Yeah, well, maybe he had maybe he fell on the sword in his opening statement saying, we got to be a lot better. And maybe there could have been a more incisive question, like what was Florida doing up front that gave you so much trouble in the run, specifically, or what will you be looking at this week? So, but man, he was awfully defensive.
Well, he was defensive. There's no question about it.
Yeah, for a guy whose team did not have a great effort against, did we just beat Florida? They're unranked.
Just sometimes I can think after a game just being annoyed. Like I kind of have sympathy, but Brian Kelly wasn't personally saying anything personal to the guy. So that like back and forth, I just put myself in the shoes of the reporter. Like that back and forth, I wouldn't mind as much.
I've heard way worse.
But like if it's when they start like attacking you as a person or like the way you're doing your job, like not like that was like a dumb question. I'd even take that. But like when Belichick would like go to Reese, like, oh, in your little notebook, I'm sorry if this goes in your little, like you're dismissing me.
Yeah.
Like you're like not dismissing the question, you're dismissing me as a man, and like you can't do that. I'm not going to allow you to do that in a public forum. Like, I'm not going to let you talk to me that way. I seriously would rather have him hit me in the face and take the punch than have him talk to me like that. I don't like that. And believe me, I'm no fighter. But I'd rather notice how I take the punch, not give the punch. I know how this would all work out. Even with an old gross guy like that, he'd probably beat me up. Yeah, that's the bottom line, is to grovel on the ground at his feet. You know what I'm saying, though. When it's personal, like, nah. Like in a business meeting, nah. You crossed the line. I don't like that. The line is very far away, but do not cross. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. If you would like to email us, you can go to 985thesportshub.com to do so. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, and then you can follow. I went off X. I think there's just something in Barrett Media about like everyone pulling off X. I think that's. I don't want to be the only show that does it, but maybe as a singular unit, we decide as a company to pull off X. It's inciting violence and things.
Oh, it's a horrible platform.
I don't care.
It's terrible.
I don't care for it.
Nor should you.
I don't know why that's so crazy, and Instagram manages not to be. I don't understand like what's going on over on Twitter.
Well, you know who's in charge of it.
Well, no, I know, but but there's humans that have to do it,
right?
Adam. I mean, like there's people responsible
but there aren't.
for
like he fired everybody.
No, not to oversee it. Forget it. I just don't understand that one social media thing can be fairly civil and one is completely out of control. It's just I don't care who's in charge of it. It's just as a species that we're like that is really crazy. But anyway, and you can follow me at Fred Toucher, where we're really cooking with some really good digital content. This is from Matt. Fred, as someone who loves watching sitcoms on broadcast television, I'm shocked you jumped on Hardy and John for saying Reba isn't on CMT. I didn't say Reba wasn't on CMT. I said they didn't play it on a continual loop. It's on all the time. The only reason I know is because they will occasionally run the Golden Girls. That is true. But now it requires a subscription, which I always think is funny. When you turn it on and it's like the Golden Girls and they're like, it requires a subscription. I'm thinking of who in their home is like, oh boy, like the Golden Girls is on. Like, I gotta call the cable company. They got me over a barrel here. That's something that you're just so bored that you click on it and then you go, oh, I guess I'm not getting the Golden Girls right now. Because if you're streaming the Golden Girls, there's some problem. Hallmark always does their stupid themed month. Sorry, Mrs. Waldig, which means they don't play girls at 10 p.m. as usual. So I need to check out CMT for them, and it's almost always Reba. Thank you for being a friend, Matt.
Sarah and Everett on our conversation about Tom Brady playing the flag football game in Saudi Arabia, and you thinking it's ridiculous for him to do it. Sarah wants to know, would Fred fly to Saudi Arabia for $100,000, all expenses paid, to call the Brady flag football game? This deal, now this is where she throws in a wrinkle, because Sarah, always thinking. This deal would also include me and John on the bill for the same amount, but we don't get it if Fred says no.
Well, until you said the last part, I wasn't going to do it. But now that Sarah and John depend on it, no, I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't do it for $100,000.
You wouldn't?
It depends how they got me there.
I would in a second.
It depends how they got me there. There's a lot of things that I would need to know.
Tramp steamer. You gotta go. You gotta go steerage.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not taking a commercial flight to Saudi Arabia. I wouldn't. I just know. I'd rather not have the money. Honestly.
100. Oh, I'm so there.
In a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, if they said we're going to treat you like we treat the athletes, and you're going to go over with the athletes and things like that, I could be cajoled. First of all, I don't want to be on a plane that long. Second of all, I'd be scared the whole time I was in Saudi Arabia.
Of what?
So, of just the unknown. I wouldn't like it. It's me. It's not Saudi Arabia. It's me. Like, I don't want to go to the Middle East. I just don't. I'm unfamiliar with it. I don't want to be there. I wouldn't feel comfortable. And that's my own thing. But it's me. I can only speak for me. When I die, I don't plan on going, oh, the regret. I wish I would have been to Saudi Arabia. I'll be fine with that. So in order to take that flight and be that uncomfortable and put myself in that kind of uncomfortable situation for that long, I don't know what I would have to be paid. Because I'm 50. If you asked me when I was 25, I would have done it. But now $100,000, I'm in a position where I'm like what am I getting?
$100,000.
A lot of friggin' money.
What am I
going to
buy with $100,000? I'd rather not go to Saudi Arabia.
I'd rather have it than not have it.
Some tuition.
No, I understand, but I've accounted for that. The tuitions are accounted for.
Can
And that
afford
boy better get a scholarship.
1 year for one child in college with that kind of money.
If they go to BC, certainly.
Hardy.
My son is vying for a scholarship.
No.
My son is vying for a scholarship.
He is. That's good for Milo.
But he's not guaranteed one by any stretch of the imagination. So maybe if he doesn't get a scholarship, I'd go over to Saudi Arabia.
Question from Sean. What were some of the alternate titles to Tangway's book? There had to be some that the publisher shot down.
Oh, Jesus, I don't want to do it again.
Oh.
No, I don't want to do it
All
twice. No, if you want to hear the Tangway thing, listen to the podcast at 6 a.m. Dying, I don't understand this one, but it's nice. So, dying laughing in Italy. Listening to the show on the app right now. Your Eddie Trunk impression is spot on. Don't stop rock and roll. I guess that's from the highlight of the guy who says rock and roll, who we all thought was pretty cool. When they score a touchdown in like Tampa or wherever it is, he says rock and roll.
Houston guy. Yeah.
Houston. You know what Bubba the Love Sponge used to do in Tampa?
What's that?
Speaking of the Buccaneers, he used to go when he'd have girls on the phone. He was hugely fat. He's like legit 450, and he would be like, "Yeah, rub it on your chia." That's how he would get around.
Ooh, sure.
And I just imagine listening to the radio and being like, wow, this is great.
CJ in the gun. First down, Stroud to throw. Guns it long downfield, right side. And Nico with the catch, right side of the end zone. And touchdown! Rock and roll! 29-yard touchdown pass from Stroud to
I like
Collins.
this guy.
That's okay. Rock and roll, Mike.
He's like Rucker going to the UFO show in Lynn.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Rock and roll's never going to die, baby. I like that guy. He's a rocking and a rolling all night long. That's right, Arthur P. You are the best.
Andy pointing out that the Bills version of all the trademarks for Jordan. Yes, Andy, we've already determined that the Bills version application was definitely a nod to Taylor Swift and Taylor's version of all the songs. And when we were talking about her earlier with the crumpled up pieces of paper in her purse, dropping the hints and the things like that, it's all very Taylor Swift-like, dropping these Easter eggs around places. The difference is with Taylor Swift, people care about it. And with Jordan, people only care about it as long as it can be used to decipher the madness or make fun of her.
Right. Again, the idea that Taylor Swift has created music that has moved millions is part of the reason of her appeal. You just banged an old guy and want to be famous and have people be intrigued by you. But people are only intrigued by the circus freak atmosphere of the whole relationship. That's the difference. In the modern world, even if you're a content creator in quotations, you have to be creating content. Like, my kids watch stupid crap on YouTube, but at least they're enjoying it. You can't watch, unless she puts out an OnlyFans of her taking it from Bill, I don't really know what you're going to be doing. Because that's the whole mystery, right? It comes down to the sexual part of it and the money. So unless we see you actively spending his money or taking it from Bill, I don't really know what your OnlyFans would consist of. Because I got news for you. Your third place is Miss Maine. I don't know how many people are paying the OnlyFans. Kevin says, ooh, stinky. Why don't you guys talk about farts anymore? Which is something that I have. Someone farted in something the other day that we could have played. Piff's flat fart stinky. I understand that fart card is going, but I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that we want some fart talk, some bit gossip, some sphincter sayings, some colon conversations. Give us what we need. I think I'm tapped out on farts.
I actually have something to pitch in the meeting after the show.
Fine.
It's not fart related, but it's poop related.
Well, no, that
It's
I'll
different.
do. That I'll do. But in terms of just deciphering farts, I think I've reached. It's like if you've run a 50-mile marathon and you're satisfied with, if you run across the country, I think that's enough. I've run across the country with fart.
I don't need to turn around and run back.
No, I feel like I've tapped. Because farts have happened.
As a listener, do you know when I tapped out on that one? It was the guy calling in to, I think it was McAfee, where the windshield wiper.
Oh, it was
made the
Orlovsky,
sound.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, no, that's a windshield wiper.
Right.
And there was this raging debate going on. I was like, okay, I got to turn this off. This is
Well, you got to fill the time. The one at the poker thing where the guy was actively trying to disrupt it was brilliant. Like the way that it was handled by the guys that were doing the poker match or whatever the hell you call poker. That one was legitimately funny, but that's the only one off the top of my head I can think of. Like I was like laughing at the content of. The other ones, it was like, okay, this is 30 seconds of a guy farting for a second. 15 minutes needs to be filled. How am I going to accomplish that? And I think I've done all I can do. I don't know if I have. I'd be serving the public, the audience more. I got nothing more to add on farts. If there's another funny thing that happens, like, and it's responded to, the fart is responded to in a funny way, and on its own it's funny, that I'll play. But just a fart, nah. I can do that myself because I'm a man, and men fart and women don't. And if they do, you have to take a break.
That's what I choose to believe.
That's what all of us choose to believe, whether we're willing to say so or not, unless you're some kind of freak.
Even if they're fat.
That's right. Alco doesn't care. He didn't care at all. By the way, ESPN is producing a Red Sox Believers documentary, so finally Boston team is getting a documentary about it.
This is like the 5th one.
Yeah, it's Ken Burns made baseball, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
I saw that a couple of times through.
I mean, 4 days in October was just on. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, Boston's got to get over itself a little bit, a tiny bit. It's got Bill Burr in it, who I love, but
Netflix is producing a documentary on last season, right?
I don't know. I'm not watching anything
They
about
were
a Boston
following
team
the team
again.
around
I'm not
last year.
watching anything about a Boston team again. I've been here long enough. I've been here for 20 years. I don't need it.
No, you haven't been here long enough.
I don't claim to
that.
be from here or be a fan of the local teams. I've been here while it was happening. I don't need to revisit it. Nothing the Red Sox done, it wasn't covered very extensively while it was happening and after it happened. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. There is a fight going on at Fenway, and we'll discuss that with one of the people who is fighting in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy.
Petruzziello.
I would have got that so wrong.
Well, look, I showed you the phonetic spelling that they gave me, and it was like, I don't know what the hell how to pronounce it. So there you go. You said it better than me. All right, Austin, what's going on at Fenway Park? You tell us.
Yeah, so they've installed some self-checkouts for alcohol and food over the past year, and they're trying to install more, and we're just fighting to get that stopped.
Okay, because I could see how they could possibly do food. I don't know how they would do it, but with alcohol and the law and everything, it seems to me like a very slippery slope. What is that seems to be a danger, is serving underage people.
Oh, definitely. You see kids just try to walk through, especially since it's a combined food and alcohol stand. They'll walk up and instead of showing an ID, they'll say, "Oh, I'm just going to grab a hot dog." And then they grab the hot dog, and then lo and behold, they're slipping 2 beers into their pockets, just paying for the hot dog and walking out.
Right. And so what's going on, and how are you guys handling this? Tell us, give us an insider's look.
Yeah, I mean, we've been fighting. We have legislation in the state house right now for Massachusetts just that bans alcohol self-serve in venues greater than 4,000 capacity. I mean, you don't see these self-checkouts at Cappy's or Total Wine or anything like that. So why are they allowed at Fenway?
Is it solely as a means, do you think, Austin, to cut down on staff costs and to remove it? Is there any benefit beyond just removing the employees out of there and saving money?
I think that's what the move is, but it's not like if they did that, it's not like they're passing these savings on to the fans. It's just not the case.
No, it's certainly not.
It's unsafe, and I mean they're still going to be charging that much for a beer,
right?
And now you have to go get it yourself, like you're at CVS going through the self checkout. Like fans don't want to go to the park and have to work themselves, crack open their own beers.
Absolutely. So, how do people unite to fight this action at Fenway Park?
Just be vocal. Don't go through the automated stands. Go through the stands where people are pouring new beers, cracking them open. I'm one of the vendors out in the stands. Buy from us, walking up and down the aisles, and just let the Red Sox know. Send them an email. Say, hey, we don't want the automation. We stand with the workers.
And you guys are Local 26, correct?
Correct.
All right. And JohnHenryDoTheRightThing.com, that is how people can find information and unite?
Yep, that and FenwayWorkersStrike.org is the other one.
All right.
Not to be confused with John Henry's reboot of the Spike Lee film, which is also, I think that's JohnHenryDoTheRightThing.net.
Yeah.
That's a different entity altogether.
Yeah, it is. This one, he's just eating ice cream instead of pizza.
Right.
All right. It's a very hot day. It's 65 degrees, and he needs to put his sun hat on. All right. Alex, well, listen. Austin, I'm sorry. JohnHenryDoTheRightThing.com. They want to get rid of the beer vendors at Fenway and install robots. It's unsafe, and it's a bad business practice. It's not savings given on to the consumer. We are on your side, Austin. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. There you go. The great Austin Petruzziello. There you go, of course.
Isn't that part of the whole dynamic of going to a park is being able to buy stuff from the vendors?
Yes.
Like at your seat. That's part of that's
getting a bag of peanuts thrown at your face. That's what you're there for.
One of the reasons to go to peanuts.
Peanuts.
Huh? I know the 2 words.
A bag of no, I'm not going to do it.
Don't do it.
I'm a nice
man.
Yeah.
At the one Nebraska game I went to, they had these sandwiches called runzas, and they would fire the runza at you in a foil packet, and then you would pay for it by putting your money back in the foil and then throwing the foil back down to the vendor.
Yeah, the idea of passing a $20 bill across like 7 people, it's different now than it was back in the day.
Well, so much of it is cashless now, too.
Yeah.
All right. Look, that'll do it for us. I had something I was going to say, but I can't remember it, so it must have been very important.
Save it for tomorrow.
I will. I will put it in a knapsack and fold it up and keep it in my pocket. And a knapsack, whatever the hell I'm talking about. All right, everyone, have a wonderful